But they all were. I think the judge was very accurate when he was talking about if you watch this entire trial.
Okay, give me a minute. You guys know what we have to do to get the other lives going. So, um, yeah, bear with me for a minute. Hopefully this time YouTube works. Sometimes we have issues with YouTube, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna make sure YouTube works first before we go live on the other platform. So, should be less than a minute. We're gonna be comparing Venezuelan logic to Iran logic and trying to see if we can figure out what the hell's the mindset of the administration. So bear with me one um second. So bear with me 1 minute. I'm actually going to end up coming up with some kind of, I don't know if I want to have some music. I want to have something on the screen behind me or something that I can play while I'm in this process before all of the lives. Because, generally before we go live, I have to get a second, I have to take a minute or two to get my other platforms up. So for you folks watching me on YouTube, you always get to see this. Only the early folks, but there is usually anywhere between 20 and 50 of you that see this. And of course, the folks on that watch the reruns, they all see it. So I'm going to come up with something, even if it's just another, on the screen telling you that. Will we ever get out of ears? What do you mean that? What do you mean? Will we ever get out, Elliot? Get out of ears? What do you mean by that? Will we ever get out of ears? Yeah, you take too long, sis. It's your life for life. It's only a minute or two. Damn, I take too long. Only a minute or two. I will tell you this though. I take that somewhat as a compliment because that means you really want to see the show. I like that. I like that. If you're saying I'm taking too long, that means you really want to see the show because it generally takes me a minute or two to get the other lives going. Okay, let me. If YouTube works right, let's see if it works right this time, which it looks like it is. Crossing fingers, crossing fingers. Yep, we're good. It says we're live, so we'll go ahead and start up. We're going to be on Instagram, Substack, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, TikTok, Substack, YouTube, Clapper. Those are our platforms. We are currently on live. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We are live. I've been listening to, I don't want to say rhetoric. I've been listening to information coming out of the White House today, particularly from one Marco Rubio, in regards to what's going on in Iran, and it alone has gives me enough questions to want to post a live, or better yet, dominate the live. But maybe you guys can help me understand some of this because a lot of the stuff Marco Rubio is saying kind of applies to Venezuelan logic. Of course, we were just dealing with Venezuela, towards the end of last year. We got Maduro out of power. There were alleged drug boats bringing drugs from Venezuela to the United States. And there's been a host of other things that have went on in that region that I want to compare to what's going on in the Middle East right now, governing the Strait of Hormuz, because I'm trying to find out, or better yet, trying to understand the logic of it. So I'm going to give you a couple clips here because I don't know how to make sense of this. But you see on the screen, we're talking about Iran versus Venezuela because that's the topic of today's show. I don't understand this. And like I said, hopefully you can help me. This is Marco Rubio addressing the media. I don't know. This just like literally just ended less than a half hour ago. This is Marco Rubio addressing the media where it just ended less than a half hour ago. And it left me with nothing but a host of questions. Certainly when it comes to comparing Venezuela, the things we hear from Venezuela to the things that Marco Rubio is saying now that is happening in the Iranian theater.
In nature. This is defensive. So if you hear stories about attacks and launching of firing back and forth, it's not back and forth. We are only responding if attacked first. This is a defensive operation, and that's what's occurring here. Just about the importance of the Straits for a moment. This is approximately a quarter of the world's oil trade, along with significant volumes of fuel and fertilizer that operate through the Straits of Hormuz. The Iranian regime cannot be allowed to dictate who uses this vital waterway. I don't think this is also being reported enough. Maybe you are reporting. I don't read everyone. I don't many damn outlets here. I don't know who you all are, but I mean, I know who some of you are, but I don't know all of you are. But I will say this about it. This is an international waterway. Okay, this is an international waterway. And international law is very clear, and I love it because everybody always talks about international law, and this international law on this is very clear. International waterways, no country can control them. There is no international law that allows you to say, I'm going to put mines in an international body of water and I'm going to blow up ships that don't listen to us and try to go through. That's what Iran is doing. This is a criminal act. And someone needs to do something about it. Something needs to be done. It's completely illegal, completely illegitimate, and completely unacceptable. And that's why the United States military is guiding stranded commercial ships safely through the strait and is working to restore freedom of navigation and putting an end to these efforts to hold the global economy hostage. So far, as a proof of concept and as a proof of function.
Now, I'm going to stop it. And forgive me for taking down notes while Rubio was saying that. But like I said, this just concluded a few moments ago. But I'm comparing Venezuela to Iran for a number of reasons. And by the way, Handsome Conservative says, I'm on Clapper now, but just for old time's sake, for YouTube support. Thank you, Handsome Conservative, for your support. Now, I want you to, in regards, we got other topics, but I want you to think about what Marco Rubio said. Here are some of the bullet points. Iran cannot dictate who uses the waterway. He concludes by saying this is an international waterway, and he is correct talking about the Strait of Hormuz. He follows up by saying no country can control it. Tells you that Iran cannot be just blowing up ships that do not want to listen to them, such as those that are trying to navigate the Strait of Hormuz. You can't just be blowing up ships. And then you hear him conclude by saying that's a criminal act. Why are we comparing the Iranian theater to Venezuelan mindset? It should be pretty obvious, because all the things he is saying that Iran is doing that's wrong in the Strait of Hormuz region, we just did all of this in regards to Venezuela. Cannot dictate who uses the waterway. Have we not been seizing and stopping ships from going to Cuba, blowing up alleged drug boats? Have we not been doing exactly that in a different region of the planet? He says this is an international waterway. We were blowing up boats in international waters. We were literally just doing that. He says no country can control it. Talking about the Strait of Hormuz, talking about Iran. Were we not just controlling the waterways off the coast of Venezuela, off the coast of Cuba, off the coast of all of the South American nations? Did we not just do all of the stuff that he is saying is wrong when Iran does it? He follows up by saying they're literally blowing up ships that don't listen to them going through the Strait of Hormuz. Did we not just do that? Did we not just do this same stuff a few months ago? And then he concludes by saying doing all of that stuff is a criminal act. Is he, by some backdoor method, essentially convicting the United States? Because we're doing all of the stuff he's saying that is wrong to do. That's Marco Rubio. He is literally criticizing Iran for doing things that we were just doing a few months ago. Or am I getting that wrong? Perhaps we can have some MAGA on the program come in and correct me. But based on what I'm seeing, Marco Rubio is essentially telling Iran, don't be us. Do not do what we just did. And I see in the comments, none of your businesses, he thought we forgot. It's too fucking recent. It's too recent. It's what, 6 months ago at best? So King Finn says, my question to you is what's so funny about that shit? The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy is what is comical. Not the act, not the loss of human life, not the inhumanity, the hypocrisy. This is probably as close of an example as you'll ever get to our shit don't stink, if you've ever heard of that phrase. But I am asking that. What is the difference between how we acted in Venezuela and how they're acting in Iran? Also, we're going to talk about a couple other topics, but I certainly want to hear from folks on this one because this doesn't make any sense to me. By the way, on TikTok, tap the screen, get the likes up. If you're watching this on YouTube, absolutely feel free to smash that like button. Helps out the algorithm. Get us up to 10,000. We'll take the first caller on TikTok. So smash that like button. But continuing on now, because you heard Rubio say they can't be just blowing up ships that won't listen. Iran is controlling the Strait of Hormuz. Despite our government saying that it's open and all this other stuff, if they're willing to fire at U.S. ships going through the Strait of Hormuz, everybody else is pretty much prey. So they're firing at us. So when America tells the rest of the world, don't worry, the strait is open, like shit, they're not even letting you go through. You just told me you had to use Hueys or whatever the hell, Cobras or Apache gunships to take out speedboats. We don't have those. So we're bragging that we took out 7 speedboats yesterday. That's us. Some of these other nations, they don't have that in the region. So when Trump says the Strait of Hormuz is open, they're going to certainly push back and say, maybe for you, but not for us. We don't have that kind of equipment. But that is what America is saying, is that we're currently still at a ceasefire, even though Iran has violated the ceasefire or violated what you would think would be a ceasefire. So I'm asking, I guess we'd have to also ask a follow-up question. Do you really believe what the information coming from the Trump administration? Why would he, or they, because it's not just Trump, it's Hegseth and Rubio as well. Why would they be so adamantly sure that we are at a ceasefire when Iran is still firing on ships going through the strait, including ours? Somehow, some way, I need you folks to make that make sense. But continuing on, also, last but not, well, this isn't last but not least, but this one I did not know, or haven't discussed, rather. Lindsey Graham will cover it for me, but we haven't talked about this yet. But it's worthy of discussing because President Trump originally told us something else.
We're going to introduce legislation that would authorize $400 million to be spent to secure to build the presidential ballroom. Underneath, there will be a lot of military stuff. There will be a Secret Service annex. And we've paid for it by offsetting it with custom fees. But the estimate is $332 million. We're going to do $400 million because I think it's probably going to take more. Private donations can be used, but I think they should be used for buying China and stuff like that.
$400 million for the ballroom. You hear Lindsey Graham saying that. $400 million. Remember, the ballroom was going to be built with without using taxpayer dollars, and you're going to get donations from businessmen and I guess supporters of President Trump. There you go. There you go. $400 million now for the ballroom. So there goes all of that private donation stuff. And keep in mind, my guess is some of the other information you've been told that comes from private donations may not be accurate as well. But he made it clear that the ballroom is going to be built from private donations. Now you got Lindsey Graham saying $400 million, and I got folks in the audience saying what I've also heard, that it may be as high as $1 billion. So you were lied to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He tore down the ballroom, told you don't worry about it, it's not going to cost you anything, and now it's going to cost you quite a bit. There's no other way to look at this. You were deceived. You were not told the truth. So take it with a grain of salt, but he did not tell us the truth on the ballroom. And by the way, he hasn't explained, well, what happened to your original statement that it wasn't going to be any taxpayer dollars? What is this, just simply a case of tell them something today, they'll buy it, and then you can slowly but surely slip in the truth and go to the real direction you really want to go to later and pay no cost? Is that what we're dealing with? because that's absolutely what seems to have happened here. Last but not least, this one here, I don't know what to say about it, but I'm going to play it for you because, as you guys know, the price of fuel in this country has gotten outrageous, and there's no sign of it going down, despite the president continuing to say gas prices will be dropping soon. Every time President Trump discusses gas prices, it's generally don't worry, it'll be soon. Short-term pain for long-term gain. But as opposed to the prices coming down, they're continuing to go up. So short-term increasing pain for unknown longevity, and then I guess you'll gain in the end or something. I don't know. But it certainly is not going the way he is saying. As always, nothing but misinformation and bullshit here. Gen X, I would invite you to be the first caller. Put in your request, Gen X. I'll take you first. One of my beloved MAGA viewers. We always enjoy talking to MAGA. And of course, if it is misinformation and bullshit, goddamn, we want to be corrected. We want to be told we're fucking up to our face. So Gen X, if you will put in your request, you will be the first caller. I'm only a moment from the end of the monologue, and we'll go straight to you before any comments. So continuing on, in regards to concluding with the monologue, and Gen X, I'll look forward to talking to you if you put your request in. We're talking about gas prices and the like, and they're constantly going up and up and up. But many folks say, and certainly you're hearing this from the Trump administration, doesn't really matter what the gas prices are. If we can stop Iran from becoming a nuclear power, it's worth it. If Trump can stop Iran from becoming a nuclear power, or perhaps deliver on some of his other promises, perhaps it's worth it. I want you to hear an opinion from a well-known political pundit of many years on the right.
I think this is the most corrupt presidency in U.S. history. With the money they are raking in with the NFTs and the meme coin, I mean, it is so blatant. It's right in front of our eyes. And the funny thing about I don't care as long as we get a wall. I mean, mass deportations. If I have not made that clear, I don't care about anything but saving the country. Can't disagree.
So is that I want to ask, that's Ann Coulter. Now, Ann Coulter is a longtime conservative. I don't know if MAGA really views her favorably, but she's a longtime conservative. And she was a definite supporter of President Trump. But what I want to ask you folks is, do you favor what she is saying? Perhaps that President Trump is taking the country in a direction that we have been longing for, a direction that is the right direction for this country, so much so that I don't even care about anything he does that may not be on the up and up. You hear her say he's raking in money from NFTs and all this other stuff. And since that was made, I believe he's came up with other ways to make money. But she doesn't care about the corruption. She's admitting he's the most corrupt president ever, but then follows up by saying you're getting mass deportation, you're securing the border, you're getting these folks out of here. If you do that stuff, I don't care how much you grift off of taxpayer money or whatever the case may be. I don't care. I just want you to do these things that are really important for America. Do you feel the same way, I suppose, is what we're going to ask. Do you feel the same way that if the president does what you really think we need, it does not matter what else goes on in terms of him as president, grifting, corruption, whatever the case may be? So we're going to talk about that. That is our program for today. We're going to certainly tackle your comments as they come in. We are MAGA friendly. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body on this program. You can be critical of anyone, including yours truly. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. So I'm going up first before we go into the comment section. Look and see if Gen X put in his request. He did not. He did not. We would love to talk to Gen X, but he did not put in his request. He stated we were giving misinformation, but he did not put in his request. But I may have a decent alternative for you. I got MAGA in the comments. I got MAGA on hold. And we're going to go straight to MAGA because I want to hear what I'm saying that is wrong. Perhaps he can correct me. The one and only Straight Talk Commerce. Good evening, Straight Talk. Welcome to the pro. What am I getting wrong?
Oh my God. I mean, Clinton's coming to office worth 100 grand. They leave worth millions. Mm-hmm. Obama's come in worth 100 grand. They leave worth tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Y'all don't say shit.
I don't think
the president. Hold on. First term, the president comes in worth $3 billion, leaves worth $2.5 billion. So he actually loses money being president of the United States, and you guys think he's the one grifting. I mean, God damn, you can't be dumber.
Who are you guys? Define.
You!
And culture? And culture?
Lefty bullshit friends.
You think Ann Coulter's a lefty?
Ann Coulter is a failed... She's not even really conservative.
Bullshit! What is she?
She's mad. No. Look, you guys keep picking... Listen, you think that the only people with Trump...
I just know. Tim, get some fucking balls. Get some fucking balls.
Okay.
That is white trash.
Okay.
I call you stupid.
Okay.
I began. For one, this is a black space, bitch. This ain't white space. You gonna respect this damn black man, or else I'm coming for your ass. How about that? You're going to
bring it.
You
Take the dick out of your mouth and come.
What dick?
Let's go.
Oh, let me tell you something about dick, bitch. You bow down.
Okay, gangster. Hold on. You're gonna get the.
No doubt.
Hold on. I don't want the program to go down by you threatening the guy, even if you don't like him. And I already thought you can't.
He needs to move along. There is a line at the truck stop waiting for her. Now, please go service. What are they doing
go
there?
Go service your mama because you don't even know who your daddy is because you're inbred, bitch. And let me break this shit down to you one more damn time. Don't you ever disrespect this man again.
And if
don't
you
ever call him down a black space.
If you don't want your life taken down, you should not be dealing with this woman.
You need to keep your racist piece of shit ass off of his life. How about that? If you can't come in here with respect and don't call him stupid,
go back to the truck stop.
Not your mama, bitch. You don't know who your mama. You don't even know who your daddy is.
Yeah. Okay.
You ain't a bad little twit.
You done? It's the third time you said it. On God.
You mad or not? You big man or not? Because you ain't about nothing, bitch. You're never going to be nothing. You're just white trailer trash ass. Okay. That's what you is. You're white trailer trash.
This is why I don't come by here.
Everything you say to him, bring receipts, bitch.
Okay, let me tackle him, gangster. I appreciate you coming on my behalf.
No one appreciates that.
Give me a moment. Give me a moment to do it. Give me a moment to do it.
Call you out your name, though. He's racist. He told you that. He told it to your face on his life that he thinks that was okay for what they did. He says he's racist. You even said he was racist. Why don't you have some fucking balls that I have balls and go against him?
Okay, give me a moment to do that. Gangsta, I appreciate you coming up, defending me. I appreciate that. But let me tackle him, and then I'll come to you next. Okay, Straight Talk, are you there?
You do that, by the way. That is all you. Don't blame her.
How the hell do it? No, you say something. Wait, hold on.
Listen to me. You allow that.
I appreciate that.
You have full control of this live. Take accountability for something.
No.
For something.
Listen, it ain't always me, Straight Talk. You do say some. Hold on. You're not letting me speak. Hold on. You do say some controversial shit. So it ain't all blaming on me. That ain't how it works.
No, it is how it works.
No, it's
Who
not.
brought her up? Did TikTok bring her up or did you bring her up? Take accountability for something.
She wanted to defend yours truly. I am honored that Gangsta Grandma came up to defend me. I didn't need it, but I'm honored she done it.
Oh no. I'm so sure. Well, then take accountability. Take some responsibility.
Well, let's get back on fucking topic, okay? Now, you're telling me, first of all, you claim that Obama's came to office and they were only worth hundreds of thousands and they left being worth tens of millions.
No, they were worth like 150-something.
Yeah, but they didn't leave. They didn't leave as worth as much as you claim they left. That's not true.
My ass, they 100% were, and by the way, and created a ton more wealth in the years following. I mean, Hillary was given $500,000 speeches by the time Bill left office.
That's
the
what president? Wait a minute. What president is not going to reach being able to get tens of millions speeches rather that's worth hundreds of millions?
George Bush Jr. didn't do that.
If George Bush Jr. wanted to give speeches when he first left office about he just didn't do. But is that corrupted?
What I'm saying is, listen to what I'm saying to you. You are complaining about a president who actually lost money.
I don't believe that.
Your president.
I don't believe that.
Well, I mean, what do you know that I don't know? Go look it up. They make records of. How do you know?
How did he lose money
on this NFT bullshit?
How did he lose money?
Well, he wasn't in charge of any of his businesses while he was president.
He was
Tim, you haven't even done the slightest bit of research.
Okay,
that's why
they actually came at him.
Right,
you're wrong. You're wrong. This is what's pissing off Gangster Grandma because she's hearing you say stuff that's wrong. They came at him. You say he wasn't controlling his business. They actually tried to invoke the emoluments clause on him because he was cashing in on his businesses from foreign leaders.
Wait. Why didn't they? Because number one, I'll tell you something. The president has no control of that to begin with. In order to take the office, he has to sign over his businesses. That's not his choice. Okay. He doesn't have the ability to remain in control of his businesses. So he has to. It's not just Trump, dude. Every single president has to do it.
So you're telling me the crypto he has now, he signed that over, the Bibles, he signed that over, the gym shoes, he signed that.
Has absolutely nothing to do with him. He is not
his
in control of any of that.
So he ain't making no money from this.
I didn't say that. But I'm saying that he's not in control of it.
How do you know?
How do you know?
How do you know that?
Tim, because you just said it, the emoluments clause. They force the president to sign documents that do not allow him to have any fiduciary control over that stuff.
There's no way in hell.
Hold on. Are you saying that the Obamas went into office and they had full control of their finances?
Wait, repeat that? I'm looking at a comment. Repeat that again.
The Obamas.
Okay.
When they got into office, they came into office.
Yeah.
They had something like a net worth of like $158,000. That's what Barack was reporting. You're saying that during that 8 years, that the Obamas were allowed to be in charge of their finances? You're wrong. They were not.
Well, no. Here's where you and I disagree with. I would be willing to agree that what you said is the tradition, but Trump does not follow tradition.
He has the power. You're saying that he has the power to just go, fuck y'all. Fuck all y'all. I'm going to handle all of my stuff myself. Bullshit.
You just described this whole president. Fuck y'all. I'm gonna do it. That's how he governs. Everything he is doing is based on fuck y'all. That's exactly you're describing his whole presidency. Fuck y'all.
Yeah. So you believe that he has the power to do that, right?
Yeah. No, I don't believe. No, wait, hold on. No, that ain't what. No. The answer to your question is no. He does not have the power to do it, but he is doing it because no one is enforcing him breaking the law. That's what's happening. Yes.
We just got a lawless motherfucker in the White House to you.
Okay. Now you're talking. Now you're speaking. Now you're talking.
Okay. But that is the dumbest thing.
Everything I say is dumb to your ass.
Everything is extremely stupid.
Everything I say is dumb or stupid to you because you think the guy's never lied in his life.
No. That's very true. And you could fix that.
I'm not going to fix that.
You could actually learn about what you're talking about.
If I fix
like Jeanette said, say a bunch of crazy shit.
Here is the problem, straight talk. If I fix the things you're saying I'm wrong, then I would sound like your crazy ass. And I don't want to fall in that category.
You would rather say wrong things than sound like what you think is crazy. No. I get you. Okay, let's get back to Iran.
Okay, let's do that. Let's
get back to Iran.
Let's do that.
The United States is escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz and protecting them so they get to where they're going. He's doing that for the world. We don't need any of that shit. It's none of our shit.
Bullshit. You're paying almost $5 a gallon of gas solely because of what Iran is doing over there.
Who are you talking to?
The guy-
I live in the most democratic state. I've never been below $6. So miss me with your goddamn gas.
You're telling me where you live at, in that Democrat area, gas prices have not changed since this war. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I told you before, we operate off CARBOB.
Wait. Let me ask you again, because I don't know if I heard that. You're telling me you live in a Democrat area, and since the war began, the price of fuel in your area has not changed.
No, not more than about 10 cents, maybe.
Where the fuck you live?
I live in California.
That ain't true.
California does not use the same gas you use.
So
where are you living?
I'm in the Midwest.
What state?
Chicago. You're telling me the price of gas in California has only went up 10 cents a gallon?
It hasn't fluctuated more than a few cents a gallon, dude. It never does. We don't get below $6.
Do I have any Californians watching the pro? You know I'm gonna clip this shit and post you because everybody know you're lying.
80 cents. Listen, I live in California. It's gone up 80 cents. What I'm saying to you is our gas price is, we operate on a totally different type of gas. It doesn't go up it doesn't go up like what you're describing. And even if it did,
I'm just laughing because you originally said I'm the one that's the moron saying crazy shit, and now you're telling me the price of gas only went up 10 cents. Go ahead, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Full of crap, dude. $3.50 2 months ago. You're full of shit, dude. Gas in California has never gotten that.
I could get 1,000 comments just posting the shit you just said, probably from people in California.
What I'm saying to you is.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys do not care. This is not the problem. Just like the ballroom. He told you that he would build a ballroom with donor money. You went fucking crazy. You don't want donor money. We don't
want the ballroom. No,
that's right.
We don't want the ballroom at all.
Aliens could drop that shit off, and you don't want a ballroom.
Right.
I get it. You do not want to upgrade your White House. Well, you're not in charge. You lost the election, dummy.
Okay.
You're not in charge of shit.
So
you're not going to be in charge in November, asshole.
So when
you don't matter.
I appreciate the compliments, but what you're saying then is when he said the ballroom was not going to be on taxpayer, was he lying in your opinion?
No, but he got sued. He got the shit sued out of him by you morons. He had donors lined up. I proved it the last time we spoke. Donors lined up to pay for it so the taxpayers didn't have to. What did y'all do? You sued him for it. You didn't want donors to pay for it. So now guess what? We all get to pay for the ballroom. And you're still not in charge. You still haven't won an election.
Straight talk, isn't the White House actually the people's house, not his?
And I mean every president. Every single president has made modifications to the White House during their term in office.
Like that?
We had basketball courts built. We've had bowling alleys put in. And by the way, the damn thing is hundreds of years old, and you still
the whole fucking White House. Now, what you just said is moronic. The whole fucking White House is hundreds of years old. In the comments, In the comments, Ed G says I'm a Republican in the capital of California, and he's lying. Gas is up at least $1. So does he not know what he's talking about?
$1.
You said 10 cents. That's 1/10. That's 1/10 of what he said.
Listen to me. It is an exaggeration. Notice
Sherlock. An exaggeration.
Notice they didn't attack what I said. The amount.
He said you're fucking lying. He said you're lying. That is an attack. He said you're lying. How much more of it does he need to say you're a piece of shit? He said you're lying.
I exaggerated a little bit, not very much.
So give me something as opposed to an exaggeration. Give me something accurate.
we are on a different type of gas. Our gas price fluctuates when our governor, when our legislator wants to collect more taxes, our gas price goes up.
So what has happened to the price? Okay.
Than the rest of the country.
So without a fucking exaggeration that we can clearly see is lying, I want to ask you again, what has happened to your gas prices since the war took place?
It has not gone up that much.
What is not that much in your opinion?
Well, what I'm saying is, I mean, since the war has started, first of the year, let's just say first of the year.
Hold on. Since Trump, hold on.
I'll look it up for you right now.
First of all, President Trump, during the State of the Union address, bragged that the average price of gas was $2.20. That's exactly what he said in the State of the Union on February. Now, obviously, you live in California, so it wasn't $2.20 then either. But I want you to look it up. Tell me what the price of fuel has done in your area since the war began in March.
From March.
Originally, you said not that much. You said as low as 10 cents a gallon.
Current average is $6.13. Let's see. I'm taking a look at it right now. 2026. Yeah, dude. March, $5.37. April, it was $5.84. And right now, it's $6.12. So $1.
So in other words, what they're saying in the audience is far closer to reality, and what you said was a bold-faced lie.
I said I exaggerated.
Why? What was the purpose of making it sound like?
Because listen, we pay $2 when I'm paying $4, you're paying $2 in Chicago. When I'm paying $5, you're paying $3 something.
I'm still trying to figure out why would you lie about the increase in gas prices?
I wasn't lying.
Why would you downplay it to you literally took off 90%.
The point to you is you don't give a fuck about it.
Yes, we do.
You don't care. No, you don't. What you care about is fussing about what the president is doing. That's all. Just boil it down.
Okay.
You don't like that we have neutered Iran. You don't like he's winning. You don't like not being in charge. Where's my money? Give me my food stamps. Give me my free medical. You're mad that you aren't in charge.
And I'm going to respond by saying, in the words of one of my more well-known guests, you need to get the president's dick out of your mouth. Listen, at the end of the day, what you're doing is trying to downplay what he has done to the American economy and you're exaggerating on his behalf is what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
I think what he's done to our economy is fantastic. I think what he has done for this country is put us right on the right track. Now, I understand that since you don't have the same political viewpoint as me, you're not going to look at it that way. You're not making money, I'm making money. So I get it. But I approve of everything that the president is doing. I don't want my kids to worry about whether Iran lobs a nuke into Israel or into one of my former allies.
Well, let me ask you another one before I get trapped for time.
I don't want a nuclear Iran. Is what I'm telling you.
I get that. A lot of even some Democrats don't either, but they want to be fed honest information.
Which is funny. You said, and you're right. Some Democrats don't.
Some
Democrats are dumber than shit.
Well, you got to keep in mind. Tulsi Gabbard said they were not trying to get a nuclear weapon. She's not a fucking Democrat anymore.
Wrong. She's 100% incorrect.
Then why the hell is she still fucking working for him?
Because that's not her lane.
That is her lane. That is her lane specifically.
Is she doing what the president is telling her what to do?
Her job is intelligence.
Is she doing what the president says? Is he saying tote that barge, lift that bale? Is that what she's doing?
What?
So she can work for him. Is Tulsi Gabbard doing what the president is instructing her to do?
Apparently not, because she didn't lie.
What do you mean, apparently not? You know of Tulsi Gabbard not doing?
Why would Tulsi? Okay, hold on. Let me get. And I see in the comments the Bison Return said, ask him how much of an exaggeration it is. It was a big exaggeration. But let me ask you this.
Not that big of an exaggeration.
You admit it ain't 10 cents. Your own information told you it was as much as $1. So
$1.
So 10 times what you originally said. That's it. That's not that much of an exaggeration, huh?
Tim, when you're paying and when you are used to paying $6 a gallon of gas, and it is on the regular, and not, by the way, $2 of that price is demonstrably tax. So all I'd have to do to lower my gas prices is get rid of the Democrat in charge of this state and take the tax off of me. It ain't the gas that's the problem.
That's bullshit, because I'll tell you this. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger as your governor, and to the point where they were literally thinking about trying to change the law so that a person that's not born in the country could potentially run for president when Schwarzenegger was in. What was your gas prices? What was the California gas prices?
We were not using a special formulated gas.
According to you, if you didn't have a Democrat, the gas prices wouldn't be taxed; they would be cheaper. What were they under Schwarzenegger?
Under Schwarzenegger,
they were
far lower, and we were not using this bullshit car bomb.
So compared to the rest of the country, when Schwarzenegger was in, the gas prices weren't that high.
No, it was still high, but it was not nearly out of whack like it is now. I mean, what are you paying for a gallon of gas right now?
About $4.40.
Yeah, I'm paying almost $2 more per gallon of gas than you are.
Yeah, but
I understand that.
Yeah, but I was going to California when they had my governor could beat your governor shirts on Venice Beach and shit like that. And gas prices in California were still substantially higher than Chicago. So I don't know why you're saying during Schwarzenegger's term as a Republican, gas prices were so much cheaper.
I just said our tax on that gas was higher, but it isn't like it is now. Now, we are not only buying a special formulated gas, we are paying $2 before we ever even touch the pump.
Okay.
You got to pay $2 a gallon just off the rip before you put the nozzle in the tank.
Okay.
Per gallon of gas.
Well, Straight Talk, as much as I enjoy talking to you, despite our differences, I am time restrained. I got to move on.
You waste a lot of my time.
You are a waste of time.
You bring these idiots in here that you make that money from. I mean, good.
No, I give you more time regardless. I enjoy talking to you.
Don't.
I enjoy talking to your crazy ass.
Of the 20, and it's now 21.
We'll try 22. There you go. You're
welcome. Come by.
You're also downgrading the time, just like the 10 cents a gallon.
You look like a moron for an hour.
I gotta go. Straight Talk. Appreciate you coming through. Always welcome. All right, moving on with the program. That is Straight Talk Commerce. Tap the screen. Shanti says you've been talking too long. Crooked Talk says Sam. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 40,000. We'll take the next caller as such. Supporting the racist, he would never invite you to Mar-a-Lago. Who is supporting the racist? No, I don't think I would get invited to Mar-a-Lago, but then again, I didn't get invited to the White House under Obama. You got to do something to get invited there. Wake up, Trump's got to go, says Danny O'Reilly, I think that is. Well, you got to vote him out. Tap the screen. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, I need you guys to smash that like button. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA, helps out with the numbers as well. In the comments, I think it says Mitch or something, says, LOL, you don't know what you are talking about. You don't know economies of scale. He embarrassed you. Okay, fair enough. Look, I don't agree with you whatsoever, but if you think he embarrassed me, go for that. I'm looking at what we're paying for groceries, gas, and goods in this country, and I don't see anything favorable about that. Perhaps you do. Looking in the comments again, tap the screen, get us on up to 20,000. We'll take the next caller. Mr. G says, Trump and MAGA ain't shit. Says to gaslight about the ballroom and gas prices is trash behavior. We have Dennis the Menace in the White House. He does have some similarities to Dennis the Menace, mind you. He does. Farmers are losing their farms. Airlines are going bankrupt. People are losing their jobs. No health care. High prices across the lane. Tourism collapse. And America's doing great, as Sassy. Well, President Trump promises short-term pain for long-term gain. So according to President Trump, some of the things you're concerned about will soon be reversed. Handsome conservative says the president isn't raising gas in California. The Democrat governor raises gas in California. Thank you for the hat mustache, James Harper. By the way, folks, yes, help your boy out with the hat mustache TikTok cap goals. If you want to be a, what do they call it, a member or a super chat guy, do that. We'll give you a little bit of props on being the callers and all of that good shit. So I haven't asked that for a long time. So if you will, support the program. I became a title grift. Oh, you have? James Harper? Thank you very much for the support. Here's something I want to say. Get the likes up to 20,000. Tap the screen. Here's a conservative. You say the president isn't raising gas prices in California. The Democrat governor raises gas. That's not totally true. The California legislation or government, whatever the case, yeah, they add a percentage tax to every gallon of fuel you purchase. But it's not like had they not raised taxes, the price of fuel in California would have stayed the same. It is going up because of what President Trump is doing. Trying to pretend like Trump has nothing to do with California gas prices is really disingenuous. That's really disingenuous. You're what Straight Talk tried to do and tried to indicate it's not, and then tried to make it, he did similar to what you're trying to do, blame it all on the Democrats. But it doesn't take much research to go back and look at gas prices during the time of Schwarzenegger. It still was higher to purchase gas in California than most places. They still had a big ass tax on fuel than most places. But you weren't complaining about it as much. And then he switched over to, well, yeah, I guess you're right. So we'll say, yeah, they were still taxing us more than most places, but it weren't as high as the Democrats. So now you're okay with taxes as long as it doesn't cross the Democrat threshold. But fact is, California's fuel prices and cost of living has always been high. And if you take out a Democrat governor in California, replace it with a Republican, it's still going to be super high to live in California because that's where every fucking body wants to be. You believe in the economy, but you're not going to talk about supply and demand. Everybody wants to be in this area. It's going to cost more. A lot of people are moving to Florida. It costs more to live there. That's just how it works. The president, real quick in the comments, said, thank you, conservative, for the disco ball. Thank you for that. I appreciate the support. So who raised the price of gas in Republican states? They don't want to talk about that. That's a hush topic. But continuing on with the show and tap the screen. Are we at 20,000? Tap the screen, get the likes, and we'll take the next caller. No, it's not. It's OPEC setting prices, LOL. You guys are trying to come up with ways of telling folks that what Trump done in Iran had nothing to do with gas prices. Now you're saying OPEC sets the gas prices. You know when Trump gave his State of the Union address in February, and he was bragging that under his watch, gas had dropped down to $2.20 a gallon. Notice he didn't say shit about OPEC. He didn't give any congratulatory statement to OPEC at all. He took fucking credit for that. He took credit for what the gas prices were in this country when they were low. So now that gas is up, nothing to do with him. It's OPEC. It's Iran's, the Strait of Hormuz has nothing to do with anything. But when they were low, he was taking credit for it. So it's pretty obvious what's going on. We'll take credit for the good, and we'll blame the bad on other folks. Now, in a small amount of defense of MAGA and President Trump, I had this same conversation when the Biden administration was in, because they too were doing the exact same thing. When gas prices began to drop, Biden and Kamala Harris was taking credit for it. When gas prices were beginning to go up, they started saying, we don't have anything to do with the cost of gas. It didn't work then, it's not going to work now. Just like under the Biden administration, people were looking at the price of groceries and shit, and Biden was saying the economy was roaring back in the stock market, and people were like, I can see what I can't afford. Fuck the stock market. The economy is not as good as you're saying. The Trump administration is doing the same shit now. They too are trying to indicate the stock market and how great the economy is doing. You heard Pam Bondi, the Dow is 50,000 and all that bullshit. People can see. Let me go back to the box We'll make it happen with Sexy Red. Donald Trump gave us COVID-19. Over 8,000 people died every day in hospitals. Donald Trump did not give us COVID-19. That's a false statement. He didn't manage it properly.
Well, I'm proud of your ugly ass. Yeah, you told him to put a dick in his mouth. I give you props. But don't ever let the white man ever disrespect you like that again. Every time that motherfucker comes up here, 'cause I got money. Cha-ching.
Let me ask you something. Now you're throwing race by saying don't let the white man disrespect. Is it okay to let the black man disrespect me?
I don't disrespect you.
That ain't what you're not a black man. I didn't ask you about you. I said you're saying don't let the white man. What if a black guy comes up here and disrespects you?
Man, shut your ass up.
You didn't answer the question.
The white man. The motherfucker that was right here telling you that you sound stupid. The same motherfucker that said, what did he say? Our gas price is going to be like $2 a gallon in 2 weeks. What the fuck is that? Because I'm in Cali, okay? I have to have premium, and it's like almost $7 a gallon. So miss me with that BS shit.
Okay.
The motherfucking uneducated fucking twit.
So you're in Cali, and you're disagreeing that the price of fuel has not went up much.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm asking a fucking question.
Gas prices went up over a damn $1. Our food is outrageous. Everything has gone to shit. Farmers is fixing to go bankrupt. Spirit Airlines went closed down because of the fuel prices. But now American citizens are wanting to buy it to make it national. I hope that does work. I really do.
Okay, but I'm asking that question. You started out by saying, don't let the white man disrespect me. Does that only apply to white men? What about blacks disrespecting me?
I haven't seen no black man disrespect your ugly ass. Only one that disrespects your ugly ass is me.
You're doing it. So should I not let the black...
I'm the only one that can disrespect your ugly ass. I wish another big guy would come up in here. I promise you.
Well, listen.
Let me tell you something. This mofo is... He's a racist, and you know he is a racist. See, that's why he don't like to be called out. I will call that bitch out every season.
Why you gotta call a man a bitch? Why you gotta call a man?
You know what he tells me? He thinks he hurt my feelings. I'll go to the truck stop, bitch. You wish I would go to the truck stop. I look better than he do on a bad fucking damn day. Bitch can't even get laid, man.
Well, I suppose
with this pink looking dick.
I suppose in your case it's okay because you are a white woman. So letting the white woman disrespect me.
I'm a white woman.
That's what my
I'm about to beat your ass on God. I'm about to beat your ass on God.
I mean, that's
You're
what
not gonna call me no white woman. I ain't white.
My guess.
Don't ever insult me. I'm not a snow roach. Don't you ever insult me.
Why are you so crude towards white people?
Really?
Yes.
Look what the white team man is doing right now to us. What do you think he's doing right now to us? He took over our things away in the down south, right? He took Black history out of damn books. You know what? Nobody listening to Black history. He took so much shit from us, and you want me to kiss their ass? You got me fucked up.
Well, first of all, you need to understand that every Caucasian in America does not agree with President Trump's actions.
And guess what? The federal buildings could be subjugated. Like, we can't drink in a white team man's fountain. What the hell are you guys talking about?
What the hell?
They took that.
Wait a minute.
Federal buildings, segregation is a no-no now. Now they can do it now. And federal buildings and shit.
They're not going to do that.
They already took it away, Tim.
They're not going to have segregated water fountains in federal buildings.
Then why did he take it away? Why did he take it down? Why did he take away DEI? Why did he fire over 3,000 black women? Why did he fire generals that were black women? Why? Tell me that.
Well, first of all, the people that he...
Get the white cock out your mouth before you talk to me.
There is no cock in thy mouth. The reason
I can't tell. You're gagging.
The reason the terminations...
300,000, yeah, 300,000.
Okay. And I see Gizmo in the comments says she is so delusional. What about the possibility that the people he fired, they got fired for cause, they got fired for insubordination, they got fired for performance? Is it possible?
Tim, I'm so sick of your white cocking ass bleach drinking ass Negro. I am so sick of your ugly ass. You be over here twerking like to the white man, like he really gives a fuck about your bubble looking ass. You feel what I'm saying? You really think this motherfucker like you? But yeah, he's stripping everything from us, Pookie. And you still
Wait. Give me
Give
three.
me a whip, NASA.
Oh my. They don't. They're sending a violation, or you're getting too hard. In the comments, real quick before we continue, they haven't been spit. Okay, somebody in the comments said it, and it's so funny how people in modern day times can hate Caucasian people, but they haven't been to have or even 10% of what slaves been through. They haven't been persecuted on the streets.
Tell the cracker to shut the fuck up on God, okay? The saltine's mad in his feelings. Get the hell out of here.
But here he continues on. He says they haven't been spit on or they ain't been hanging for trees. Hold on, let me read his comment first. No, you can't. I want to read it for those who don't. He's saying they haven't been spit on, or they haven't been hanging from trees, and they haven't. Ain't nobody picked on the knee. What it says.
That's not true.
Well, this is what he said.
That's not true.
The wording of this is hard to. Hold on, let me finish it. The wording of it is a little difficult because he worded it right. He said none of our modern day people have been through what the slave has been through, but they want to compare their lives to. So how do you respond to that?
Let me break this shit down. 1950s, they did the shit to us. 1960s, they came at us. March 7th, it was Bloody Sunday. That bitch ass cracker don't know shit what he's talking about. Yeah, bitch, and what I called you, you saltine idiot. I don't even want to call you a Ritz, because I like my Ritz crackers. But that little saltine, that little saltine ass. See, these motherfuckers ain't not educated. It happened back in slavery. It happened in the 60s and shit. What are you guys talking about?
So you're referring to him as a cracker, but you won't call him a Ritz because you like Ritz. So he's relegated to a saltine.
I like my Ritz crackers. The saltines are dry as hell. And they brittle, like white brittleness. Ugh, God. But let me break the shit. At least Ritz crackers got some kind of tan on them. They look brownish, you feel what I'm saying? I think that's a Negro cracker right there because it's brown. You feel me? Ritz? Yes, they are kind of.
You know something? You are the type of woman I would like to trap in a room for a few days with some white folks. You need to.
Oh, hell no.
You need to hang around some white people.
I don't like drama. Because I'm scared of my damn self. I go from 0 to 100. And guess what? I'm in prison fucking with the saltines. I cannot. You won't let me know.
You desperately.
Let me break this shit down to you. Racism is being here. It's all a lie, boogies. It happened in the 60s. My dad was in on this shit. So don't give me all this.
Let me ask you a simple question. And by the way, folks, help your boy out the TikTok cap, had mustache goals. I haven't solicited that and haven't seen it. So help your boy out, support the program. Let me ask you this. Have we not made any progress since the 1960s, in your opinion?
We did.
You don't sound like it.
No, listen. We did. And now he's taking it all back. Like the Voters Act. He's stripping that shit from us. He did it from the federal government. They could be subjugated in the federal buildings and shit. We don't have to. They can't. If they put blacks only for the bathroom, they could do that now. We're going backwards instead of forwards. They want us back in Jim Crow, you nut cracker ass crackers. So shut me up with that bullshit.
What have you seen from President Trump himself to indicate he wants Jim Crow to come back?
What the fuck are you?
I'm just saying.
Are you fucking serious, Tim?
I gotta ask you because folks like Gizmos in the comments said this lady is embarrassing. TikTok, Rev Ford, thank you for that mustache.
This motherfucker's a white man, and he voted for the shit. He's a white man. He doesn't know we even want to embarrass him. I couldn't even walk anywhere with a white tea motherfucker. Because I'd be embarrassed to show my face around those
thank you, handsome conservative. Maybe that's your problem. You need to walk somewhere with a white man. Maybe you need some white friends.
Nope. Because I don't need nobody like that. I have allies, our friends. I have allies, but I'll be damned I have a friend with a maggot. I would go to prison.
As John in the comments says, so your answer to racism is more racism. That's dumb. How do you respond? He has a point. He has a point.
No, Tim. Let me tell you something. The Democrats have been nice. all this fucking time. Oh, go higher. When they go low, go higher. No, bitch, I'm not a nice Democrat, bitch. I'll take you to hell. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm giving you the same shit that you're giving us. You're taking everything from us. You think that we're beneath the white tea man. And the white tea man stole our shit. So don't ever get it twisted. And all motherfucking white men say, oh, we got culture. The only culture you guys have are savages. That's what the only culture you motherfuckers got is savage. All you guys do is great fucking women. All you guys do is murder asses. All you motherfuckers do is go pew pew up our damn skulls. All you motherfuckers do is bitch, moan, groan, and
So how do you respond to
everything? Fuck you. Fuck everything about you. You cracker ass crackers.
you're saying all this horrible stuff about whites? How do you respond to all of the blacks in your neighborhood shooting each other up? How do you respond to that?
Oh, okay. Let me break this shit down to you again. When you're in a black hood, you're going to be a black victim. You're in a white tea hood, you're going to be a white tea victim. Fuck you with all that bullshit. It's proximity. And let me tell you something. There's more white tea crime than there is black crime. The only thing that is going down is that the black people may get locked the fuck up more, and then they get exonerated more. So shut you up and quit having a white tea cock in your goddamn mouth. Become black, because you ain't getting me to turn nothing. You ain't never gonna get me to be, get these white tea people credit. No, bitch. I was gonna go sell them off back to Europe, because when they wasn't here, we had Mexicans here, and we had our indigenous people here. They didn't get. What were they doing? Nothing.
I've been told that when whites were not here, we were not civilized. We were not. We didn't agree. We had tribes that were fighting with each other anyway.
When the white tea man came here, what did they do? They gave us what? Syphilis, gonorrhea. They gave us cholera. They gave us the white plague. They did everything. The natives tried to teach them how to eat and stuff. That's why it's so-called Thanksgiving. But no, it was that they slaughtered the natives. That's why a lot of natives don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Yeah, all they did was torture. But you know what the funny shit about the shit was? When the white people got kicked out of Europe, you know what? It wasn't the best and the brightest motherfuckers. It was the rapists, the murderers, and everything else.
You sound like Trump.
Yeah. Give it right back to us. You're going to read a history book.
That's exactly what Trump said.
They wasn't the best of the best that came from Europe. It was the savages. It was the nuts. It was the I don't know how to do shit. White tea people. Let's go there, okay? Let's go there. They're over telling us that all Mexicans are rapists and shit. I think you should go look in the fucking mirror. Because I swear
I don't think you have any right to complain about racism, because you're doing and saying exactly the stuff you complain about.
You know what's fucking funny? And you know what? You the motherfucker call you a dumbass. I had to come up as a black woman and defend your ugly cracker shit. But no, let me deal with him.
MAGA reacts in the comments says you are Trump. You sound just like some of the stuff Trump is saying.
Bitch, shut the fuck up. You're the one that sucks his dick so damn much. You twist yourself in a damn president defending the motherfucker. I don't defend nothing that man does. I wish you analyze himself.
I don't know.
Let me tell you, I'm not racist, though. I'm not. No, I'm not. But I give it right back to them, Jim. You see, unlike you, I don't kiss their ass. I throw the shit right back in the face. You want to call me some shit, bitch? I'm coming harder with you. You feel what I'm saying? I don't have no respect for the maggots. Look what they're doing to us. Black history, everything. Juneteenth, they don't even want us to do Juneteenth.
Even Luis Miguel in the comments, who leans left, I believe, says you say racist things.
Fuck you and everything about you. You know what, Miguel? You're a Mexican, and you don't think they'll say shit about your ugly ass. You say fuck guys. I'm not being racist. I'm doing it like it fucking is. I'm telling you, like it fucking is. Like today, I better not see not one motherfucking maggot eating a damn taco.
There is no way in hell MAGA could ever repeat the same shit you say without the whole black community calling them racist. What you're saying is racist.
You know what, Tim? I promise you I'm not racist. But I tell you what, though, if I have to save my ally or save them, I'll throw more gas on the maggot, then I'll save my ally. I'll watch his ass burn. I don't give a fuck.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. I'm going to move it on for the safety of the show.
Let me tell you something.
Real quick.
Don't ever let him degrade you like that again. I will spend another $10 because he don't have it. Because you know he can't fight shit. Because I'm up here now talking mad shit about that cracker ass cracker.
Okay, would you stop calling the man a cracker? Would you stop that?
No. Oh, I forgot. I can't say. I forgot. I love my ribs. Saltines. My bad. Saltines.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
I do like you, Tim.
Thank you.
You're getting on my nerves. Can you please don't let him disrespect you again?
I'll see what I can do. I appreciate it. Thank you. Tap the screen. We're getting back on topic. We're comparing Iran to Venezuela. My first two callers have really put me in the trenches. I went from far right to far left. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 45,000, if you will. That's Tim's sister, says Sean West. Okay, I got it. Casey grandma's my sister, so when I come home, she just be smacking me on the head and everything, huh? She would be the big sister that's always kicking my ass if it was. I give her some saltines with her soup, says T2. She's not racist. She has a white friend. That says, God, you guys are crazy. Tap the screen, get the likes on up, if you will. This is uncensored programming, as you can tell. We don't black ban or censor anybody's comments. Left, right, indifferent, you name it. Nobody's comments get blocked, banned, or censored, or even limited for some, unless the apps, sometimes the apps want to be a bit heavy on the censorship, but we are a MAGA-friendly program. Despite the language you heard from my last caller, we allow MAGA to speak with zero censorship as well. If you favor dialogue from all sides of the aisle without any censorship, I'm going to ask that you do the program a favor. If you're watching us on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, or Clapper, follow the program. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a sub. We are generally here most weekdays. But if you're watching us live, go ahead and give us a sub or follow the program, depending on your platform. Looking in the comments here, ask this woman her nationality, and I guarantee you she is going to tell you she a color, but you can ask a Chinese man, and he's going to tell you he's Chinese. He's not going to say I'm white. Yeah, I mean, most Americans go by color. That's just the racial history of this country. Most Americans, listen, when the Irish came here originally, I'm sure they called themselves Irish. I'm sure when the Germans came here, they called themselves German. But the way racism was instituted in this country, you were told you're either black or white. That's just what you were told. I get your point. But that's the way the country was founded. It was founded on seeing color as clear as day. So, no, you're right. A Chinese man is not going to say that. But I suppose they could say I'm yellow, but we did them differently. But that's just the way it was. You said not in Miami, huh, Margaret? Well, Miami is a very small portion of America, though. It's a very, very small portion of America. Tap the screen, get us on up to 45,000. We'll take the next caller. Tell her, Tim, I'll be her Huckleberry. Handsome conservative, huh? Huckleberry, huh? I just got to clap in my ear listening to that hoe. Damn, TikTok ref. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 45,000. We'll take the next caller. By the way, help your boy out with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goes. She sounds dumb because black communities are chronically underfunded. They are underfunded. I'll leave it up to you whether or not you think she sounds dumb. Before we continue on with the next caller, getting back to the actual gist of the show. We got sidetracked, obviously. Show went in a racial direction, but Marco Rubio spoke only a few moments before we went live, and his conversation is what literally provoked me to have this live.
Molecules of fuel and fertilizer that operate through the Straits of Hormuz. The Iranian regime cannot be allowed to dictate who uses this vital waterway. I don't think this is also being reported enough. Maybe you are reporting. I don't read everyone. I don't many damn outlets here. I don't know who you all are, but I know who some of you are, but I don't know all of you are. But I will say this about it. This is an international waterway. Okay, this is an international waterway. And international law is very clear, and I love it because everybody always talks about international law, and this international law on this is very clear. International waterways, no country can control them. There is no international law that allows you to say, I'm going to put mines in an international body of water, and I'm going to blow up ships that don't listen to us and try to go through. That's what Iran is doing. This is a criminal act. And someone needs to do something about it. Something needs to be done. It's completely illegal, completely illegitimate, and completely unacceptable. And now,
I want to stop what he's saying, because a lot of folks are going to agree with him. Iran should not just be able to control the strait and blow up boats at will, et cetera, et cetera. But you hear what he said. They cannot dictate who uses the waterway. This is an international waterway. He's talking about the Strait of Hormuz area. No country can just control it by themselves or blow up ships that don't listen to them. And he's saying that what Iran is doing is a criminal act. There are other videos where Marco Rubio has referred to them as pirates. Here's what I want to ask for those who may have just been tuning in. And I see Chris in the comments says this war is a criminal act. Well, here's what I want to ask. What is the difference between what Marco Rubio said that Iran is doing in the Middle Eastern theater compared to what we did near Venezuela? Well, we did the same shit. Cannot dictate who uses the waterway. Were we not seizing ships, trying to deliver oil to Cuba, blowing up drug boats that were nowhere near America? Because you hear Marco Rubio say the Strait of Hormuz, that's an international waterway. Was that not an international waterway where those drug boats were blown up? Where the oil ships on their way to Venezuela were seized? What's the difference? No country can control it, says Marco Rubio. Are we not controlling international waterways as we see fit? He also talks about they were wrong for blowing up ships that don't listen to them. Is that not what we were just doing to the drug boats off the coast of Venezuela out in international water? And then he concludes by saying it's a criminal act. Now, we started out the live by asking this question. Is Marco Rubio kind of on the low actually convicting the United States? Because if what he is saying about Iran applies, then America's done a lot of the same things he's talking about in the Venezuelan theater. What's the difference? As Chris points out in the comments, yep, we are blockading Cuba. Right now, just like they're controlling the straits, we're controlling the area around Cuba. They can't receive anything. What's the difference? Other than we think what we're doing is right and what they're doing is wrong. What is the difference, though? So it does sound like America is involved in kind of a our shit don't stink type mindset or something like that. But I don't understand how it's wrong for them to do it, but it seems to be okay for us to do it. So maybe we could have somebody explain that to me. MAGA reacts. Good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. What is the difference? Venezuela, Iranian, the logistics on them both. That's the whole topic of the life. What is the difference?
Well, as far as the drugs, basically drugs are illegal in international water. Drugs are illegal all over. Even in international water, drugs are still legal. So transporting them is illegal.
So should wait, hold on. If Iran was to blow up one of the cargo vessels, all they got to do is say drugs are on it. Is that what you're saying? Just blow up one of the vessels going through the Strait of Hormuz and just say drugs are on it.
Hey, if they want to do that, go for it. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, have you seen any proof to this day that those boats are actually carrying drugs?
We've had this fight a few times. Those boats clearly were carrying drugs. You could see it in the video. These weren't big tankers where you could hide the drugs in the bottom of the fucking ship. These were open.
Every one of them boats blown up, you could clearly see drugs on it.
Yeah, you can see cargo that looks like drugs. And there's
you can't. Hold on. You can't.
Tankers are built for oil. Those fucking boats were built for smuggling small.
It doesn't matter. You cannot blow a boat up because they have cargo that looks like drugs. It could just be. Let's say, for instance, I really was a cartel or a drug dealer, and I wanted to test to make sure a route via waterway was safe. Let me see if the United States is going to catch. So I'm going to send you with 100 barrels of sugar packaged to look like drugs. I want you to go from Venezuela to, Cuba somewhere. There's no drugs on it. Do you believe America has a right to blow that up?
Yeah, it's kind of like getting arrested with drug paraphernalia.
They got sugar. There's no paraphernalia on it. That's sugar.
The boat is for smuggling drugs. It's a smuggler's boat.
So
boats have no other purpose than smuggling.
So
They're
if
any evidence that they're meant for anything but smuggling.
So if it's a heavily outfitted boat with multiple outboard runners, and it has a bunch of sugar packaged that look like drugs, you're okay with killing the inhabitants?
I mean, you build a smuggling boat. First of all, I don't think that those boats are. The amount of sugar you could carry in a boat like that is enough. It's not enough to be profitable. You need a big oil tanker.
All I'm saying is,
so if you're carrying sugar, you're not gonna make any money because
this isn't about making. Wait, hold on. This isn't about making money. What I'm saying is, you want to do a test run to see if the United States is going to arrest you. So you're carrying legal cargo, just packaged up in that manner, in a boat that is capable of carrying drugs. But right now, everything you're doing is 100% legal. You're telling me because it looks a certain way, you can still kill them.
I don't know. That's a little tricky. I can't tell you in that weird scenario.
Why is it tricky? Why is it tricky to decide whether you can kill somebody who's 100% legal?
Because you're trying to trick the people into killing you by pretending to smuggle drugs.
Well, first of all, MAGA, let's be clear. Before the Trump administration came on, we never diagnosed drug boats from the air and then delivered death as a result. That's something we've never done before.
I'm pretty sure we've intercepted.
We have never killed anybody on the spot for transporting narcotics. We've never done that.
All right, if you say so.
Do you have any evidence?
Don't call them fishing boats. I'm okay with agreeing what you're saying right now, that what if they're not drug? I'm okay with some of it. But don't call them fucking fishing boats. They're not fishing boats.
I'm not calling them fishing boats, but what I'm trying to find out is, what is the difference between the stuff we're doing in Venezuela versus what they're doing in Iran? I mean,
we're intercepting specific boats. We're not stopping all boats. We're intercepting.
Okay, so it's okay. So would it be okay for? Would it be okay? Would it be okay for Iran to stop some of the boats?
They've done in the past.
That ain't what I asked you.
I mean, if they have a reason to, then yeah, go ahead. If they have a legit reason to, why not?
So who decides how many they can stop?
I don't know.
You realize how crazy what you're saying is sounding. We stopped Cuba from receiving oil. You're okay with that? You think that's legal?
I'm actually not okay with that, to be honest.
All right then. So America's doing very similar shit to what they're doing in Iran.
But we're only doing it with like 2 boats when it comes to Cuba versus.
So you're not Jeffrey Dahmer. You only killed 1 person. I mean, what you basically said is we're committing crime. We just didn't do as many crimes as Iran did.
I don't know what to tell you. And plus, we're not affecting the entire world with what we're doing.
Right. I only killed 1 person. I didn't kill a bunch of them. Mike, good evening.
Say so.
Yeah, you're basically admitting that. Mike.
What's going on, Tim? What's going on?
Not much at all. So
I have a question. What's up, Mike? I have one question for you, Nagarias. Can you provide me a source that shows that there's been any credible evidence provided to Congress or the U.S. Public about any credible evidence coming from any of those 35 boats?
We have the video of the boats. Can you
No, you can't.
The design of the boats?
No. You're not answering my question. Evidence, not the boat. Evidence. That would be smugs. That would be smug paraphernalia.
Video is an acceptable type of video evidence.
Sir, I'm asking you for correct. That's not video evidence, Magariax. They haven't shown anything. I'm asking you.
Is it AI video that you're saying it's not evidence?
I'm asking you any credible evidence. Has anything been recovered?
And real quick, before you answer that, Maga, Archeon 504 on YouTube, I don't see your Substack request. I did get your super chat. I don't see you. Go ahead, Maga, answer his question.
Yeah, I mean, the video is plenty of evidence on its own, and I haven't seen any evidence to tell me they're not drug boats. I haven't seen any evidence telling me that, they were just transporting sugar, like Tim said. I have.
We're not going to read. Can you show me? Can you show me, please? Can you show the 185 people in there the evidence that you say you have, please, sir?
You mean the 20, 50 videos that they
No. Because what you're
the design of the boats.
Again.
Not a single fishing
can I ask you a question?
The boats.
Can I ask you a question? I just want to be clear what you're saying. You're saying that the video evidence from that strike team is evidence of what was on the boats before the strike? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, when you see the boats before they get blown up, you can see what kind of boats they are.
Can you show me?
They're not built for fishing. If
But
you
well, you can't.
Knowledge of boats, you can tell.
That's very.
Boats.
Let me not just say.
They got no coolers.
MAGA, is it possible, MAGA, is there any way for you to ever just answer a fucking question without all this obfuscation? I'm asking you.
I created
but again, MAGA, let me ask you this, and this is what's crazy. This is what
the video I explained.
MAGA reacts. I've seen it all. I'm asking you. You guys are trying to rewrite the law. You don't bomb somebody and say, prove it wasn't on there. That's not how it works. Yeah. You guys are trying to rewrite the laws. That is not how any laws work. Based on what you said, based on what you said, I can knock on your door and give you a speeding ticket for owning a sports car.
Hey,
huh?
You're right.
Now, does it work that way? MAGA reacts. Does it
in the middle of the fucking ocean?
Does it work that way? MAGA reacts. All I'm asking you is, can I preemptively give you a speeding ticket for just owning a sports car?
Sports car from one state to another.
That's not what I said.
Border, then you might have a reason.
I can't even do that, and this is where you got it. Listen, man. It's really
like a sports bar in my driveway. That's where it's supposed to be.
Even if you were on the freeway, MAGA reacts, if you got pulled over and got a preemptive ticket, that would be breaking your constitutional rights, correct?
Yeah, in America, and I don't have constitutional rights in international water.
No. That's not what I'm
Neither do we.
This motherfucker, man. You know, MAGA, sometimes I just want you to be open.
All these fucking nuanced things.
It's not nuanced. It's clear as day.
It's not a fishing boat.
No.
It's not a nuance.
Okay. Hold on. Let me just say this. Just because it's not a fishing boat, I get that you're focusing on the belief they're lying about it's a fishing boat. Even if you can prove it's a drug boat in every sort of way, you can't prove there's drugs on it. Or that you can't prove there's drugs on it. You can't prove the destination was the United States. You don't have any jurisdiction.
All right. Well, it looks like a fish. It's acting like a fish.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not. It's supposed to be.
So in other words, you were treated as
go out in deep water like that in such a narrow boat. You need a fucking deep hull to be out.
No, you don't. Like no, fishing. You don't. Because in the Caribbean, they do it all. Have you ever been deep sea fishing in the Caribbean? Ever? MAGA reacts. I'm just asking.
Once, but I wasn't really fishing. I was just on the boat. I don't like fishing, but I'm on the water.
Let me. I don't give a fuck if you like sea diving or snorkeling in your bathtub. That was not my question. I'm asking you because what you're saying doesn't make sense. Hold on, let me ask you this.
Okay.
The reason I asked you for evidence. Hold on. No, you don't.
I'm taking a boat to the Bahamas.
No, listen, MAGA reacts. That's not what I asked you. But let me ask you this. Not only should you not be defending this, you should be outraged that they've not given you enough evidence to defend your position. The position you're defending, you haven't got anything. I asked you a question. The easy answer would have been
any easy answer either.
MAGA reacts, and this is my point to you, sir. We haven't had one bundle of anything wash up anywhere. We haven't had them recover and tag anything to say this came from booming that vessel. That has not happened. Hold on. So what you're telling me is when the Coast Guard does this, this is what they do. They always recover the actual cargo, the contraband. That's what they do. And the idea that, again, don't you think if they did that with just one of these vessels, that would dispel the rumors that they're not doing it? Just one. And MAGA reacts, just stay with me. MAGA reacts, just stay with me. MAGA reacts, just stay with me for a second. This is why you guys don't have credibility. At the end of the day, can I finish? MAGA reacts, can I finish?
None of has proven anything
can I finish?
Wrong.
No, actually, no. You haven't provided evidence that is right. You're saying they're guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said.
All I said is those were not fishing boats, and they're meant for smuggling because there's no other.
Yeah, but MAGA. But wait, hold on. Don't you believe MAGA reacts, even if they're not fishing? Don't you believe this is a very flimsy amount of information to kill somebody over?
No, because those boats are specific.
So you're in open sea. You're in open. Wait. You're in open sea with a. Hold on, hang on. You're in open sea with a boat that looks like a drug boat. That's all you need to murder somebody. That's all you need.
It's not that it looks like it. It was
You're in international waters with a drug boat. That's all you need is a drug boat, and that's good enough to kill somebody, in your opinion.
Yeah, if it looks like I'm smuggling drugs,
You know what? You know what's so funny? I don't know if you're serious at this point in your life.
I mean,
or your
I'm sure they have
career.
other evidence. Okay.
No. But again, I want you to
fishing boats.
Tim, today's Cinco de Mayo. Today's Cinco de Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a great day to remember this date and time. From this point forward, MAGA Reacts, don't ever bring your ass up here and argue a position like Trump being persecuted.
Right.
With no evidence, because you can never ever take that position on anything, because your position is you can be found guilty and have to prove your innocence regardless.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump is a P3DO. He is. He is. Wait a minute, Tim. I'm using his logic. No. I'm using your logic on all of this. I'm using your logic on all of this. I'm using your logic.
My logic is the logic you're using.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Exactly. Is that no? It doesn't, because your logic is just fuckery.
You're wrong about Trump being a PDO.
No, I'm using your logic. I'm using your logic. I'm using your logic. I think your logic is shit. I think that your position on this is bullshit.
This boat thing is equivalent to finding Trump in a fucking van with candy next to a school.
I asked you.
You have evidence of Trump.
Perfect. You need evidence now? Now you need evidence? Now you need evidence?
Hold on. You know what? You're right, MAGA Reacts. MAGA Reacts. We do have that sort of evidence now. Let me finish and don't interrupt.
Really?
You said equivalent to him being found in a van with candy. There are multiple testimonies. Let me finish because those allegations about the e-files weren't out of school. So I'm going to use your position again. This is why you need to think before you speak. There's enough circumstantial evidence based on what you said. The van is Mar-a-Lago. The candy is the massage therapy. The victim is the little girl that testified about what happened between her, Donald, and Jeffrey. Now, based on what you said, there's enough evidence to find him guilty of that without hard evidence being presented.
Mar-a-Lago is not a fucking van. It's a mansion on the water. Other fucking mansions like it.
Hey, stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. And Cedric, everything I said is in the files, my guy. Again,
everything you said.
Do you see how your logic doesn't work, MAGA Reacts? Do you see how your logic doesn't work? You need help. You need literal help.
Fucking country club.
All right, I gotta move it on, folks. We'll leave it at that.
Hold on. I'm gonna say this real quick.
Mike, I'll give you a word, and then I'll go back to MAGA. Go ahead, Mike. Wrap it up.
Perfect. I'm gonna say this. The owner of the van is responsible for what happens in the van, just like Donald Trump owns Mar-a-Lago, and he's responsible for what happens on his property. Let me finish. Not only is it his property, he was named in said assault multiple times, which would make him just as guilty as anybody on these boats with no evidence. Next time, read a little bit, my guy. You're an idiot. You're
right. Mike, appreciate you coming through. Thank you, Mike.
It's everything that comes out of your mouth.
I'm just going to say, MAGA, I'm just going to say, kind of following on what Mike said, I'm really surprised that you're suddenly saying that if it looks like you're smuggling drugs, that should be enough to kill you. We don't even kill our own citizens for smuggling drugs, but yet we're going to go in international waters and murder people for it. We don't even do that here.
I'll give you that. I don't want to say you should be killed because of it, but you still haven't given me. I still think those are 100%.
I'm not arguing with what they look like. I'm arguing with the guilty until proven.
They have no other.
But even if you're in a drug boat going from Venezuela to Guatemala, America don't have the right to kill you. You got to prove a lot. You got
I
to.
kind of agree with you there.
Your stance is they look like, or your stance is they are drug boats, and the cargo looks like it's drugs. You don't have any proof of the destination or anything else. You can't murder somebody on that. That's crazy.
All right. Okay, but like I said, that's the same as being in a white van next to a school, fucking stalking kids. Even though you don't pick one up, you know that guy is fucking probably a pedophile.
But you can't go. You can't just. Let's say, for instance,
Mar-a-Lago is not the same as a fucking van, and owning Mar-a-Lago.
I'm just simply saying I don't see room for criticizing what Iran is doing when we're doing this stuff off the coast of Venezuela. We're fucking with boats in international water.
We're not stopping all water. We're not stopping all boats crossing international water.
But that's why I made the argument. Well, I didn't kill 10 people, but you're basically saying I didn't kill 10 people, Your Honor. I only killed one. If you do it, one is too many. What we're doing is wrong.
Those people are very likely to be guilty. When we're not shooting,
you can't kill. Have you ever?
What Iran is doing is the equivalent of fucking firing a rocket at every boat that gets near Cuba.
Your response is those people. We kill people because they are very likely to be guilty. What kind of justice is that?
I have more evidence, but the evidence they've given me tells me that they're more. The evidence they've given me is enough to tell me that these are drug dealers, and you haven't given me evidence.
So you're telling me that if somebody is taking drugs from Venezuela to Guatemala, that's enough evidence for you to say they should be killed by the United States?
If it's that much drugs, yeah, enough drugs.
We don't have jurisdiction.
300,000 on the boat.
So what if they're taking drugs? So
built drug boat. They spent 300,000. They didn't spend 300,000 on a piece of fucking shit to fucking, you know.
So what if they're taking drugs?
Sugar.
So what if they're taking drugs from, let's say, China to Japan? Should we kill them too?
I mean, up to Japan. Japan should kill them.
Why can't we do it?
Backyard.
So in other words, anybody in the Western
main area. I mean, if you want to, you can, but that's more Japan's problem.
You realize how loose this stuff sounds you're throwing out there? I mean, this is what we call justice. We're in international water. This looks like that, or you're likely guilty, or you're killing people based on this stuff.
Okay, I mean, I might be wrong about all that. I might be right, but guess what? I'm not wrong about them being not fishing boats. Those are not fishing boats.
The fishing boat argument is considerably mild when you're talking about killing people. Let's say I go and successfully deliver drugs to some country, and now I'm on my way back for a refill. I might not have any drugs, but I'm still in a drug boat. According to you, I'm in a drug boat, boom, I should die. You're killing people for the mildest of reasons. You're okay with murdering people for this stuff.
Okay. I mean, you might be right about that, but I don't know. There's a lot of nuance to it, and I'm sure they have more evidence. And
why are you sure? Why are you sure? Why are you so sure? They haven't shown anything.
Evidence to tell me that these weren't drug dealers, and it makes no sense to take all that risk, fucking doing all that with an empty boat.
They immediately called.
In the middle of the water, they're in fucking deep. You know how dangerous it is to be out in deep ocean like that.
All you're giving me is a bunch of circumstantial stuff. And even if everything you're saying is true, I don't hear anything justifying killing someone. I mean, we're talking about killing a person for this stuff, not arresting them. You're okay with them killing the people based on the information you're providing.
Hopefully the government has better evidence than what I got.
Right.
If I had their evidence, I'm sure I could prove it.
Right.
I don't have their evidence.
And if they don't have the evidence, do you think they're going to admit they were wrong?
I don't think they're wrong though.
That ain't what I asked you. That is not what I asked you. If they do not have the evidence, do you think they're going to admit they're wrong?
Probably not, because they will never admit that shit.
I gotta go. I think you made my case. MAGA Reacts, thanks for coming through.
Take care.
All right. Moving on. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. What we're complaining about in Iran, we are doing in our own hemisphere. We're doing the same stuff. You heard Marco Rubio state that Iran cannot dictate who uses the waterway, yet we're doing it in our area and saying, well, it's in our backyard. Well, the Strait of Hormuz is in their backyard. We're saying that this is, he said this is an international waterway and no country can control it. We're doing exactly that. We're doing exactly the stuff that he's claiming Iran is wrong for doing, up to and including, he says they're blowing up ships that don't listen in this criminal act. As you just heard my last guest try to defend, that was us blowing up ships that didn't listen to us, far away from home. We're blowing up ships further away from the United States than what Iran is doing. That stuff is literally just a few miles off the coast of their border. We are hundreds of miles away from home doing it. I don't see the difference. Tap the screen, get us on up to, I'm gonna have to put on my spectacles so I can't see the likes. Tap the screen if you will. God damn, I'm still, get us up to 70,000. Glasses dirty as hell. I pray I'm not on the trial when that motherfucker has hurt. What is hurt duty, Rod? Tap the screen, get the likes on up in the comments here. This man is a perfect candidate to join the military. He sounds young enough, mad enough to join the army. Please don't join the Marines. So we don't want idiots like you. Why are you backing up Iran? Not backing up. Let me just say this and tap the screen. We'll take the next caller at I can't see if that's 70 or 80, but get us up to the next 10th of 1,000. Tap the screen. I can't read the damn the number up there. It's either 62 or 82, but tap the screen, get the likes up. In regards to defending Iran, somebody says, why are you defending Iran? What I don't like is this. We need to get past the notion that if you're criticizing the actions of your country, you're being unpatriotic. This is exactly what they said during the Iraq War. If you didn't agree with George W. Bush attacking Iraq, you were somehow unpatriotic or defending Iraq. Now, history has shown that war was a war of choice and 100% unnecessary. But the same mindset is being used on this Iran war. If you criticize anything America's doing, that means you're defending Iran. No, America's not above criticism. At least not if we want to suggest we're a country of free speech, unless that's one out the window, where you're not allowed, you do often hear my beloved MAGA say this all the time. Anytime you hear somebody saying if you don't like something, you can just leave your homeland, it's usually the right. You don't normally hear the left saying, if you don't like it, just leave. The right does have a mindset of, you should think a certain way, otherwise you shouldn't be in America. That's forced patriotism. James Harper, thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeah, appreciate that. But that is forced patriotism. Either you always support your country, no matter what they're doing, you don't criticize it, or you should leave. You don't like it, leave. I help you pack. That's what they often say. But fact is, what America's doing in Iran, it is worthy of criticism. It is certainly, it has nothing to do with supporting Iran. I'm just simply saying we're commenting on things that Iran is doing that we claim is wrong while doing it ourselves simultaneously. If pointing out the hypocrisy makes me unpatriotic, then I suggest you check yourself in the mirror with that one. Iran killed 40,000 of their own people and been saying they're going to nuke us, but you do everything to defend them, says Adam. Didn't we just threaten to kill their whole fucking civilization? Based on what the threat Trump made, they would rather lose 40,000. You're gonna bring up that they killed 40,000 of their own people, and then we followed up by threatening their whole civilization. I don't think you guys see the hypocrisy. I don't think you really see it at all. President Trump blew up a school full of kids, or our weapons did, or our ally Israel did, and then he tried to blame it on them. You don't have this sounds like my last guess. Well, I only killed one, you killed 20, so you're more wrong. The hypocrisy is insane. The man threatened to wipe their whole civilization out in a single day. Only way you could do that is with an atomic weapon. But yet you want to go back, well, they killed their own people. He didn't threaten to do any better. He didn't threaten to do any better whatsoever. Threatening to take out their desalination plants so they have no fresh water. He's blowing up bridges, threatening to take out the power plants and shit. He's got Cuba in the dark as we speak. But yet you want to bring up what they're doing? You don't see the hypocrisy. You just don't see it, huh? It's like the man who says, I'm coming to save you with a machine gun. You're doing the same shit while trying to take some kind of weird amount of credit for it or something. I don't understand where you're going with that, but America's not, they don't hold a high ground on this. Tap the screen, get the likes up. I don't understand that whatsoever. Thank you for the disco ball, and we'll see if we can make it work. Conservative, bringing up the next guest here, if I can make it happen. Tap the screen. Are we at 80? No, we're not at 70,000, whatever the next 10th of it. But we'll go to Clapper. Handsome conservative, welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, loud and clear. What am I wrong?
All right, hold on 1 second. Let me take my earpiece off so I can talk to you. All right, disconnect the tooth. All right, can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Am I wrong suggesting that what we're doing is very similar to what we're complaining about?
I was away from the phone. What are we doing that?
Well, Marco Rubio is complaining that Iran cannot just go around dictating who uses the waterway, saying it's an international waterway, and saying no one country can control it, and talking about how we're blowing up ships that don't, or how they're blowing up ships that don't listen to him and saying it's a criminal act. I'm asking, what's the difference between what he's complaining about and what we did in the Venezuelan theater?
I didn't hear him say that, but I agree that we can't hold the waterways are international. So no country should be able to do that.
So when we're seizing vessels, taking oil to Cuba, blowing up drug boats that are nowhere near the United States, what's the difference?
Well, we're taking out the drug boats because the drug boats are taking drugs to other countries than our country, and they're getting people addicted to shit that's illegal here.
So do you believe that anybody that's carrying drugs worldwide on a boat, America has the right to kill them?
Personally, I would.
But we don't even, but here's the problem though. If you're going to say your stance on drugs is so strong that you'll kill somebody transporting drugs on the high seas, why don't you do that to your own citizens when they're caught with drugs? We're treating international citizens worse than we don't even kill our Americans that are caught with drugs.
We lock up people.
We don't kill. We can't
lock up people that are international. They're not a part of our.
Yeah, you can. We lock up people internationally all the time. That's what we've been doing the whole time before Trump got in office. We lock up international drug dealers all the time.
Okay, well, I'm not sure here. I think that I'm all for taking out any boats that are carrying drugs.
Are you for doing it with no evidence that it was actually carrying drugs?
Well, I think that if they said they have evidence, they have evidence. I don't have in front of me what they have. If they blew it up, I'm sure they have evidence that it was carrying drugs.
Well, any idea why they haven't provided that to anyone? I mean, keep in mind they've said that they said Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good were domestic terrorists. They don't have any evidence on that. They say things without evidence all the time.
Well, do they say things without evidence, or do they just not release the evidence to the public? Because those are two different things. I mean, they're not obligated, with all due respect, Tim, and I don't mean any disrespect, they're not obligated to give us all the evidence they have all the time.
No, they're not. But if you're
politicians that we agree with, and if they say they have it, we have to take it at face value.
But if you're killing people in international waters, you're telling me they're not obligated to prove to anybody that the person was actually carrying drugs. They can just kill the person and provide no evidence to anyone.
If they needed to provide evidence, I'm not sure they do, but if they needed to provide evidence, they would need to provide it to the country of the people that they took out.
You believe they've done that?
I don't know.
Because
I have no clue if they've done it, but I do believe that if they did it, they had some sort of reason. They had some evidence that they were hauling drugs back and forth.
Well, the nation of Colombia, the president of Colombia stated that 2 of the people killed were citizens of their country, and he assured us they were not carrying any drugs. And then Trump started threatening him. Trump started threatening that if Cuba didn't back down, they would be next after Venezuela. He started threatening the whole country.
Venezuela? Yeah, I don't know about Venezuela. If the drugs are coming from them, then yeah, I mean, they're going to lie about it.
Wait a minute, was out of all of the countries south of the border, when have you ever heard that Venezuela was the drug capital?
I thought that's what you just said. I thought you said that they were bringing drugs in from Venezuela.
No. What Trump said is drugs were coming in from Venezuela. And then out of the boats he blew up, one of the boats that he blew up, the president of Colombia, a whole different country, said, you blew up 2 of our citizens that were fishermen, and they were not carrying drugs. And then when he started speaking out, President Trump started threatening the president of Colombia in that country, telling them you could be next if you keep talking.
Well, I don't know why he threatened them if there were no drugs. I would say that was fucking wrong. I mean, I'll go on the record as saying that was fucked up. But I have no reason to. I got no reason to not think that they were carrying drugs. I mean, for me, it's good enough that the president said that they were carrying drugs.
Yeah, but if the countries themselves in the area are not asking for the help of the United States, why are we going off of their border and killing folks? They're not asking the United States to patrol their borders or, to curtail the drug trade. Why are we hundreds of miles away from home providing a service that no one is asking for? In fact, they don't want the service.
I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. If they don't want our help, then we should just stay. Unless they're bringing drugs to America,
Right.
then I think we should probably just stay out of it.
Yeah, if they were off the coast of Florida or somewhere off the coast of Louisiana in the Gulf, we could have a conversation. This stuff is hundreds of miles away from the United States. There are countries in between where they're killed and the United States. So even if they are carrying drugs, there's no evidence to suggest that the United States was even a destination.
Right. Well, like I said, if they're bringing drugs here, I say that's fair game. If they're not bringing drugs here and the government says that they don't want our help, then let them rot in their own shit.
Yeah. So I'm not.
I mean, I'm kind of agreeing with you. I mean, if they don't want our help and it's not coming here, then let them have a country full of drug addicts. I mean, That's what they want. So
then also let me ask you, what is the difference between Iran seizing boats in the Strait of Hormuz and President Trump seizing boats trying to deliver oil to Cuba?
Well, first of all, I don't think anybody should have control of the strait because oil, I think China itself gets most of its oil from the strait, if I understand. So nobody should control the strait, and that includes Iran.
Okay. So what's the difference between controlling the strait and controlling the waterway leading up to Cuba, where they're trying to get, because the path from Venezuela to Cuba does not involve entering the United States waterway. That does not involve entering anywhere near the United States. So what about control? Because America sees ships going to Cuba. What's the difference?
Well, normally, if we weren't at war, I would probably agree with you. But right now, everything's fucked up. We're at war with Iran, so we're making sure that the oil doesn't get to our enemies.
No, we're not at war with Cuba or Venezuela. Why are we seizing ships going between those two countries? That's not in the Middle East at all.
We're not at war with them, then we shouldn't be doing that.
So in other words, what we're doing is very similar to what Iran is doing.
Yeah, two wrongs. Yeah, pretty much. I
Okay.
mean, we are at war. We are at war with Iran, so I'm sure there's a reason. I don't know what that reason is. But
Yeah.
if we're not at war with another country, then we should leave their oil alone.
Right. That's the point I'm making, is that Marco Rubio is complaining about things that the Iranians are doing while we're actively doing the same shit on our side of the planet. I mean, in our hemisphere, we're doing this. And by the way, the Strait of Hormuz is significantly closer to the nation of Iran than anything going on off the coast of Venezuela. I mean, you literally, a small vessel can easily travel. The Strait of Hormuz is only, maybe a couple dozen miles wide. And Iran is bordering the whole thing. America's nowhere near Venezuela. We're way off of we're nowhere near our country, yet we're down there doing all kinds of stuff.
Okay. I mean, my personal opinion is that if we're at war, all's fair in war. But if we're not at war with the other countries, we need to leave their shit alone. They got infrastructure that's got to run off of oil too. I mean, if we were at war with them, I'd understand. But you're saying we're not, so yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this.
Okay. And by the way, if you're suggesting that all's fair when we're at war, then why the hell is he complaining about what Iran is doing? According to you, that's fair as well. What Iran is doing, if we're at war with Iran. So
what I'm saying is we shouldn't and they shouldn't be fucking with the Strait. Because when you mess with the Strait, you're fucking with everybody's oil, like China, the UK, just a shit ton of countries that aren't fucking with them. So I mean, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but what are they supposed to do when America just starts bombing them? I mean,
fight America.
What?
Fight America. We're fighting them. They're fighting us. Israel's fighting them. They're fighting Israel, I believe they're attacking a couple of other countries.
Conservative. You know they cannot fight blow for blow America and Israel simultaneously. They have to do other shit to make the fight even. They have to do stuff like that. They can't go blow for blow with America and Israel.
I understand, but if they keep fucking with other countries that aren't in this, if they keep screwing with the supply of oil, other countries are going to have no choice but to get into the war, because countries can't run without oil. I don't think solar power is that advanced yet.
Well,
so,
it's
up to Iran. Iran can make that decision on their own, but if you're taking somebody else's oil, like China or the UK or just a number of other countries, even in the EU, they're running out of oil. If you keep taking their oil and you keep trying to control the Strait, you're going to bring other countries in against you.
I don't know. I understand what you're saying, Conservative, but I don't know, because I think a lot of these countries, as opposed to getting mad with Iran, I think a lot of these countries are like, things was going fine before America chose to attack Iran. I don't know if they're going to just jump in and all pile on Iran.
With respect, Tim, and I'm trying to be nice about this, but
please do.
Respect, the fact is that whether you approve, not you, but another country, whether they approve of why we went to war with Iran or not, it isn't really the issue anymore. The issue is, what are they going to do to get their oil flow back to the way it is? Do they want Iran to have control of the Strait?
Well, my response is this.
I don't think Iran should have control of the Strait. That's open water for every country to get their oil.
My response is this. You told us in the beginning that NATO wasn't shit, and when you attacked Iran, you made it clear you didn't need our help. So what are we going to do? We're going to sit back and let you fix this. You told us you won in the first few days of the war, first few hours, I think you said. You keep. Yeah, he did. He said he won in the first few hours. You didn't hear that?
No, I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying, okay, but here's the problem with that. let's say you're NATO, okay? You decide we're going to sit back and let America fix this themselves. Every day that this war continues, every day that it goes on is a day you're not going to get your oil, or at the very least, you're not going to get regular oil shipments like you're used to. And unlike America, there are a massive amount of countries that need that oil, that can't find their own.
Yeah.
So they're hurting themselves.
Well, but what about the flip side, conservative, is that if we join America in dealing with Iran, now all of a sudden when Iranian sympathizers want to launch terrorist attacks and they go after everybody that was siding with America, now we may have people killed in the future for something that America dragged us into. So yeah, we're paying more for oil, but we're going to sit back and let you fix that, so that when you fix it, you are responsible for the retaliation and not us.
I would say that two things. One, hypothetically, if England or the EU joined us, this war would be over pretty quickly with the firepower combined of everybody. But if they don't want to join us and they don't want to help, that's fine. And number two, Iran is attacking not just Israel and the U.S., they're attacking a few countries that are around them.
Yeah, our allies.
They can't do that to the EU. The EU is far away from them. They can't do that to England. England is far away from them. So, I mean, they're not in the same boat. If you're going to want your oil, you're going to have to get involved. It's just how much are you willing to cost your citizens before you stand up?
But do you understand the principle of this? Our president basically treated those countries like a piece of shit, said we didn't need them, said that they were useless, all this awful shit. Then he decided to go attack Iran without giving them so much as a heads up, where their citizens were in the danger zone without America telling them, look, we're going to start bombing on Sunday. You need to tell your citizens to come home. We didn't give them any heads up or any of this stuff. Now that when it becomes a mess, they're expected to just jump up and help a country that has been treating them like shit the whole time. Do you understand why a lot of countries are hesitant to do anything for us?
Here's the problem I have with that. Here, I see what you're saying as far as the rhetoric goes.
Yeah.
But here's the problem with this, Tim. If you're going to say we're going to sit back because Trump was a meanie and he insulted us, then ultimately you're hurting your own citizens for your pride.
They're going to hurt either way. They're going to either they're going to sit back and pay more for gas, or they're going to go to war on behalf of Trump. They're going to hurt either way.
How much more do you think their citizens are going to let them get away with? How high does the price have to be before their citizens start voting them out?
Depends on how much hatred there is for Trump. Are the citizens of the let's take the UK for instance. You have to wonder, do your citizens, would they prefer to go to war or pay higher gas prices for a while? A lot of citizens may be like, we'll just pay. Look, at the end of the day, if I got a choice between going to war or paying $7 or $8 a gallon for gas where I can try not to drive as much, I'd rather deal with the gas prices. I don't want to go to fucking war. So I'm going to deal with the higher gas prices.
I told you a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, but I told you a while ago that I believe we're going to go into Iraq because of the troops. Now, I still feel that that's going to happen. But as far as I'm concerned, the bottom line is, if we got to do it on our own with Israel, that's fine. But if they want their oil to be lower, they got to get off their feelings and they got to get into the war, whether they want to or not.
You know, the way Trump has talked about them, you go into war with President Trump. First of all, no matter how it turns out, he's going to take all the credit. You may have citizens dying in a war and he's on TV saying this country ain't did shit. I mean, he's going to disrespect you throughout the endeavor. No, nobody's going to be in a hurry to work with a guy like that. I mean, he's going to feed false information. It's all going to be information to make himself sound fantastic, and you sound like a piece of shit, even while your citizens may be dying in that war. Would you really be eager to participate in that?
We have been holding up the EU and the UK and other countries for years financially while they sit on their thumbs and do nothing to protect themselves. If we haven't earned by now, if we have not earned them to stand by us when we're at war, then I think we need to stop sending them money and helping their country out because they got hurt feelings if they're not going to back us up.
You know that you're talking about hurt feelings. You do know he doesn't have to do stuff like this, right? You do know there's no gain in treating him like shit, right?
I understand that they don't like the way
that ain't what I said. It ain't got nothing to do with them not liking it. I'm saying, how does treating them like shit benefit you or I in the United States? What is the benefit from constantly talking about world leaders the way he does? Who benefits from that?
Hey, look, if I was president, I wouldn't talk to them like Trump does. If I was president, I would be like, we've been helping you guys and holding you guys up for years. You're either going to get on board and help us out when we need you, or we're going to stop helping you and you can take on Russia by yourself.
That is the problem, conservative. I might have to move it on soon, but let me tell you, that's the problem. You cannot frame everything in the form of a threat. How about making a phone call and saying that Iran has become a major problem and we might need your help? We've been thinking about doing something about the fact that they just keep violating the ambition of trying to obtain a nuclear. How about diplomacy? This guy's supposed to be the deal maker. What happened to the art of the deal? Everything comes in the form of a threat. You don't see how that may be what's hindering success is constantly. These are world leaders. You can't threaten your way to glory.
I'm not going to sit here and say the way he's talking to people is the right way to do it. But I am going to say you can only get punched in the gut so many times before you start swinging back. And to be perfectly honest, I've got no respect for the EU. I've got no respect for our so-called allies, because if they were our allies, they would be standing with us instead of talking trash behind our backs.
So do you think an ally would have advised them we were about to attack Iran so that they could get their people out? Do you think an ally would have done that?
I think an ally would have stood beside us when we...
You didn't answer my question. Do you think an ally would have let them know before we attacked Iran so they could have got their citizens out of harm's way? Would an ally have done that?
I would have. I would have let them know that they should get their citizens out of the way.
So if you don't do that, are you still an ally?
I don't think they are.
So then don't complain when they don't help you. I got to move it on, conservative, as always.
But again, don't complain when we stop helping them when they're falling on their asses from fighting Russia.
Well, to me, the minute you started talking shit, withdrawing troops from Germany and things like that, you're kind of already there. You're already doing it. So we are where you're talking about.
Fair enough, and support your local liberal.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hands conservative, everybody. Tap the screen, by the way, folks. Get the likes on up. That was from Clapper. Looking in the comments, we're winning. We don't need no one. Then quit asking, Duke. Duke, and by the way, tap the screen, folks. Get us on up to 95,000, if you will. In the comments, I want to read a few comments before we move on. I can't talk to a psycho like a normal human being. I guess we're just supposed to ignore the rhetoric and their deeds from the last 47 years. Here's what I don't like. This whole, we've been at war with Iran for the last 47 years and they're chanting death to America. Why are they doing that? Out of all the 180 plus nations on earth, why aren't they saying death to Germany or death to Greece? Why are they saying death to America? We're just being a nice nation, going about our business, and this country just decided to hate us for no reason at all. Why are they saying death to America? Why have we been at odds with them for the last 47 years? That's the question. We're making it sound like out of just thin air, this country just developed a hatred for the United States. America was just being a very nice nation, responsible country, and they just developed some kind of hatred for no reason at all. There's more history than you're being told. There is more to that story than you're being told. This is very similar to after September 11th. George W. Bush got on television and said that Al-Qaeda hates us because we're free. That's what he said. They hate us because we're free. There is a whole lot of other countries on earth that are free, but they keep coming to the United States for the hatred. There is more to the story than you're being told. That's all I'm saying. You're not getting the full story. These people are not just developing a hatred for this one country when there's other countries that are similar. They're not yelling death to Australia, death to New Zealand. Those countries are free. They're not yelling it to, why are they picking America? You got to ask more questions. You got to ask more questions than just going with what you're being told. Let me go back to the box. Help your boy out with the hat, mustache, tick-tock, cap, goals, if you will. You guys know what I always say. Support the program. We'll go to Mike, the boss. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program. Why do you think they don't see the similarities between what's going on in Venezuela and what's going on in the Iranian theater?
Because if they admit to one, it challenges their logic on everything, because the logic is the same across the board. Yeah. They believe everything without evidence. When you give them evidence, they think it was rigged. When you show them evidence, so they can't admit to anything because it destroys their entire ideology. Because it's bullshit. It's all bullshit, Tim. Listen, everything, they can't let it go. I was just listening to another live where it was a MAGA saying that the left is whining about gas prices.
So the right is totally okay with it.
Listen, their whole argument when Biden was in office was the cost of living, the cost of everything. Yeah. Now they don't want to acknowledge none of that shit. It takes time. You guys aren't being patient. That is not what they voted for.
Well, as Duke says, stop crying. Duke.
Listen, Duke, here's the thing, Duke. You got money. Spend the galaxy and come have the conversation. You know you're not equipped for this shit with me. None of you guys are. It's interesting, Tim. I come on your show all the time. I can't get someone. They never come up. What I just said is factual. We can talk about all the things they voted against Biden for that we're going through right now, and they'll excuse every one of them. Every fucking one of them.
I gotta say straight up, I don't disagree with you whatsoever. I remember hearing, we've been having lives for 3-4 years now. The complaint about gas prices and groceries under Biden was insane, coming from the right. I was doing it as well, which is why a lot of my left-leaning viewers didn't like me from complaining about the Biden economy so much. But the problem is now that the same shit is happening under Trump, the right suddenly is silent on it, or it's not that bad anymore. The prices of gas right now under the Trump administration are not that much. You got to go to the worst of the Biden administration, because some folks are still saying, well, it was higher under Biden. Most of Biden's term gas prices were not as high as they are right now. There was a sliver of it. So you got to go to the worst of Biden right now to make Trump not look as bad. They seem to be totally okay with gas prices now. So I gotta agree with you.
Yeah, well, and again, if they were being honest brokers of these conversations, they would agree with me too. But the funny thing is, and they're only talking about the spike in 2022 during the vid, right? Can't even argue that. That's what it was. But everything that we're going through right now was self-induced. They can't say we're going through anything right now because of the Biden administration. They can't talk about eggs, chicken,
Well, they're going to complain about the need for ICE and the millions of dollars that is being spent on ICE because Biden let people in. That's what they're going to say about that. And then they're going to say even with the Iranian nuclear issue that's going on right now, they're going to say it's because Obama made a shitty deal, a deal they thought was shitty, and it's led to this. So there's still ways to twist the narrative and blame Biden and Obama if you really want to do it.
But if you go try to pull up facts and support that shit, they have nothing. Again, they can say it. I can say you can bury a turkey and grow a fucking cow. That don't make it true. See, here's the thing, and here's what I'm talking about. When they talk about Biden and anything related, they have no facts to support any of that shit. And the minute you ask them to bring it up, people like Duke will go, I got to go because I got to crawl. And you got to put my tap dancing shoes on because I don't really know a fucking thing. And I get irritated when they do that, Tim, because these really should just be conversations about facts. They should really be conversations about reality. We know when things under Biden were high and you can kind of walk through and talk about the why, right? Yeah. Doesn't mean that the why is legitimate. It's just the why. And you can support it with facts. When you talk about this administration right now, they will never admit to anything. And they start bringing up Obama. They start bringing up Biden. You guys won. He's gone. Kamala didn't win. She's gone. All of their ideas that you guys were against, everything that you guys were voting against, you got what you wanted. You got the Congress. You got the Senate. You got the and you got the and you have the Supreme Court. You got everything you need to make the change you guys voted for. And what are they doing with it? The big beautiful bill is causing harm. You got USA that's unaliving, the cuts from USA that's unaliving hundreds of thousands to people across the planet right now. You got the tariff money that we have to pay back right now. You got oil prices. We're in a war. Everything they said the other side was going to do, they're doing, and they justify. They're fucking hypocrites.
I mean, like I said, it would be. I would argue, but I like to play devil's advocate. I like to argue and push back when there is, but there is the hypocrisy is so evident. There is no pushback. I just want to say real quick, as I do during the monologue, tap the screen, get the likes on up to, we might be across the 100K. Tap the screen, show the program some love. If you're watching us on Instagram, Substack, TikTok, or Clapper, follow the program. If you're watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub. So, what is it? A case of our shit don't stink with us doing exactly the same thing Iran is doing? We're doing it close to our home. Iran is doing it close to their home.
Yeah, and let me tell you, what's going on over there. Yeah, you're right. Marco Rubio pretty much told on ourselves, but they'll excuse that too, and they'll excuse it too because they have the reason why a lot of them like Trump so much because they have the same morals, ethics, character, and integrity.
Explain. What do you mean by that?
Because a lot of the things he's doing, they're okay with because they would do the same shit. They would excuse the same shit. And they would be okay being next to the same shit. They excuse it all. But the funny thing is, there's a law in place that Trump signed in the law that he didn't want to sign in the law when it came to the e-files. It's a law. They're not holding Donald Trump accountable to upholding the law to release the rest of the files.
I mean, but that's what I was telling one of my guests earlier. I think it was Hanson Conservative or somebody who was saying that, what is Trump going to just say, fuck the law? And I said, that's been the kind of the bane of that's been the motto of his whole administration. Because remember, TikTok, Congress has shut down TikTok and he said, fuck that law too. And they kept TikTok going despite Congress. Yeah, Trump has said, fuck the law on several occasions. Right now, that Congress was supposed to speak about whether Trump could continue staying at war with Iran. He said, fuck that law. We're still at war with Iran past the 60 days. So, yeah, he's been, but I want you to hear something real quick and let me know, do you think anybody in the country thinks this way?
I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, this is the most corrupt presidency in U.S. history. With the money they are raking in with the NFTs and the meme coin. I mean, it is so blatant. It's right in front of our eyes. And the funny thing about I don't care as long as we get a wall and mass deportations. If I have not made that clear, I don't care about anything but saving the country. Do you think that's the mindset maybe, that he can kind of do whatever he wants as long as he does what they view as favorable to this country?
I think white America hides behind that. I think they hide the racism behind that, right? And because that's what's the name, right? I can barely
that's
see it.
ant culture. Yes, ant culture. Yeah.
Right. That's the long neck racist. And the reason I say that, and listen, I can support everything that I say. You remember when she was sitting down with Vivek
Ram? Yes, and she said she wouldn't vote for him because he's an Indian.
Right, but she agreed with all of his views.
Yep.
And she said, and she told him to his face, but I can't vote for you because of your race.
Yeah. She did say that.
So before anybody attacks me in the comments, just do a little research. If she agrees with all of his views, but she can't vote for him because of his race, she is by definition a racist. Yeah. And so it's easy to hide behind what she said, hide your blatant racism.
Wait, hold on. Marquis says y'all taking it out of context. Oh, you joking about it?
Yeah, he's joking. But here's the thing. And Duke, you got a lot to say. All you got to do is hit the little button and come up. That's all you got to do. It's funny. You guys are the cowards that you voted for. That's why I say they like it.
Damn.
That's why, and I'm serious when I say that. That's why I say they like it, Tim, because Donald Trump is a coward. Donald Trump hides behind the strength of the presidency. He hasn't held, listen, when Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's still out there saying the same thing she's been saying, like when Donald Trump says if something happens to her son, it's her fault.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
she gave a long speech the other day, man. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene is going through it.
But now the same people in Duke, of all people, were supporting her before Donald Trump stopped supporting her. Of all people, you guys are the biggest hypocrites in the world. You'll support somebody because your Sky Daddy or your Orange guy tells you to, and the minute he says it's not okay, y'all pivot and do exactly what he tells you. You guys are the worst, and then you want somebody to believe that you're honest and have integrity about your positions?
What do you say, MAGA? What do you say, MAGA are not free thinkers or something?
They are cult members, Tim. They can't think for themselves. There is nothing that he can do that they can just freely think for themselves and say, that's wrong, I can't. Think about all the things that have happened. There is not a bridge too far for them. Think about it. There hasn't been a bridge too far for them. Jeremy has more integrity than Duke.
Jeremy. Wait, real quick before we continue in the comments, whoa, Blue One Banks, thank you for the galaxy. That was for Duke, so you got company. Real quick in the comments, y'all know we don't like Fox News, right, says Tiff. Bullshit. They're the #1 name in news. You think liberals are watching them, giving them that credit? That's bullshit. Maybe you don't like Fox News, but there are a lot of folks on the right that do. I don't see Duke's request. Duke, if you're on, send in the request. The galaxy's been provided.
Duke, you got time, Duke? You got time? You got time? Instead of typing.
There's a lot of folks that want to talk. There's a lot of folks that want to hear from Duke. I don't know if he dropped out, but
just challenge me on anything that I said with some facts.
And Blue One Banks, appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, he's not. His request is not there, so I don't know if he moved on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Because you know why, Tim? I got time today. I'm sitting in front of my computer. I'll fact check anything I've said. You know my receipts are deep. Yeah, I don't.
The
bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. We have a presidency that is, it's all for thee and not for me. And they sign off on this shit and make excuses.
Hold on a second. Duke, hold on. Duke, I see you in the comments saying, can someone get the Pampers? Are you able to talk? We'll bring you up right away. Put in your request. We'll bring you up right away, Duke. You've come highly recommended. So put in your request, Duke, if you want to come up. Or if you prefer to stay in the comments and troll, you go for that. All right, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, he can stay in the comments and troll. And if he comes up, I just want him to bring his receipts. That's all. Yeah. Everything I said was factual.
Yeah, and Kel Bruce says Mike is on point. MAGA talking points is always crap. Came from Trump's mouth or post from Truth Social. Go ahead, Mike.
What they don't understand, because see, I'm not being partisan. I'm just being factual. I'm not being partisan about any of this. I'm looking at exactly what it is, and I'm holding them accountable to the things that they bitched about for 5 years. And I say 5 years, and I said 5 years for a reason, because before Donald Trump said just as much shit after he lost, right? Mm-hmm. Both times. When he was running for his first term, he was talking shit. When he lost, the entire time, that entire 4 years, he was talking shit. And he's still talking shit while he's in the presidency. Our president shouldn't be trolling other countries. Our president shouldn't be whining. Anytime I'm crying, didn't this bitch just want to bring home 5,000 troops from Germany because he didn't like what the president what they said over in Germany?
Yeah, but
isn't that what happened?
Is he about to do that now? Okay, now MAGA reacts. You give me a minute. We'll give Duke a few minutes first, because MAGA reacts. You got some folks that want to talk to you. We'll start with Duke. Duke.
Nah, I don't want to talk to you. Just one-on-one. Me and you, handsome liberal, like you do on my line.
All right.
Nah. You're not up here for that. No, you're up here to talk to me.
Let's go. I'm at work. Come on.
All right.
No, you're up here.
Up and down.
You on my time.
Well,
up and down.
we'll get you. We'll get you next. We'll get you. But MAGA. But you.
Come on, honey butter. Well, hold on. MAGA Racks, don't say nothing. MAGA Reacts. Just give me 1 second. Duke, you had all that crying in the comments. You had your moment to say what you needed to say right then. Well, I just want to talk to you one-on-one. Like, Tim, well, call him then.
You know something though? That should be a compliment to you, Mike, because he treated me like a bitch with that statement. In other words, I know Mike got receipts, so I'll just deal with handsome liberal. That's what he just did.
I bet. I'm sure you're at work.
That's what he just did. I saw that.
Well, look, he's at work, but bring him up next.
All right.
How'd that work?
All right, MAGA Reaction wants to holler at you. Debo, thank you for the hat and mustache. Some of you folks, a few of you folks are supporting the program. Help your boy out with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goes, MAGA Reacts. What brings you up?
Well, I want to talk to Mr. Receipts here. I'm looking at gas price history and inflation history. And gas prices were high for like 6-7 months in 22 under Biden. They've only been high for like 1 month, maybe 2 under Trump so far.
That's not true.
What part is not true? I'm looking from February 22. I'm fucking past. Give me 1 second.
I already said 22.
Let me get out my notes. I'm about to learn something. You about to educate me.
Yeah. I already said 22.
Yeah, exactly. But for how long though? It was for 6-7 months in 22. It's only been 1 month in this fucking year where gas prices have been high.
It's not. Inflation. Can you show me, please?
The whole like 2-3 years of high inflation.
Can you show me, please?
Right
Don't
here.
tell me. Show me.
Right here. This is the EIA. 22. This is average gas price.
Put him on the big box, Tim.
Hang on a second.
Give me 1 second. It's a little hard to do. There we go. So this is the EIA. This is 22. We have high gas prices 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4, 5, 6. This is still kind of high, but let's say 7, 8, 9. Where Trump, we got how many months of high gas under Trump? We got 1, barely 2. So how are you going to compare 7 months to 2?
Scroll up, sir. Scroll up. Scroll up.
Scroll up to what? Where?
Scroll up to the months, sir. Scroll up to the months. Go up.
March
Go up.
and April.
Okay. Then scroll back down so you keep that so where everybody can see.
Yeah.
So they haven't reported. So go back down. They haven't reported May yet, have they?
No.
Okay, May just started.
Okay, hold on, sir. Go back to the
We're
left.
only 5 days into May.
Keep going back to the left, sir. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. Is it higher than it was in January?
What do you mean? Yeah,
Is gas?
It's only been
Let me
2 months.
finish.
That's my whole point.
Can I finish? Is it higher than it was in January?
Yes.
When did the conflict start, MAGA?
March.
It started in February.
February
28th. February 28th. So if we're tracking the gas prices from when it started to now, then that would be the reason. And if you forecast it out by the oil experts, is it going to go down or go up?
The reason I'm arguing that it's only been a month and a half, 2 months, a month and a half of high oil versus 7 months in 22. Now, when we get to 7 months, then you could run your mouth. But it's only been like a month and a half.
And again,
about a month
are they higher?
7 months
The question is
I'm
this.
not done, and that doesn't include
Again,
fucking high inflation now.
The question is this. Hold on. The question again. Are you going to let me? Hold on. Are you going to let me in, or are you just going to get scallop?
I'm finished now.
Okay. All of that inflation was due to what?
Due to Biden.
I already told you. When Tim and I were talking, we conceded, and you came up and did exactly what I said. You went to the highest point in his presidency based on the vid.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I said before you came up. And I went to the self. Hold on, let me finish. It wasn't. Let me finish. Are you going to let me finish?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Because you think you're cooking. I measured what we're going through right now based on his own self-induced issues. The gas prices we're dealing with right now are based on the decisions he made to start. Let me finish. It's based on us going over there. You can't say something that how long has it been, because we've only been in the conflict for 60 days. So could it be more than 60? Let me finish. Let me finish. Could it be higher? Could it be longer than the conflict that made the prices go up, MAGA Reacts?
We don't know. We'll find out.
Again, MAGA Reacts. You came up here thinking you're cooking, and you said what I said.
Exactly. You said the same thing to me last time.
Tim,
yes, sir.
Did I not say that?
Yes, I'll just say this.
It's been a month and a half.
First of all, it's been more. If the prices started going up the moment we went in war with Iran, you can say a month and a half. My guess is this, MAGA. Even if the prices are up 7 months, equaling what you're talking about under Biden, you're just going to switch your narrative to defend it in a different way. I mean, that's just my opinion. Yeah, right. You're going to be on something else by then.
You're 100% right, MAGA Reacts. We can talk about it then. But let me ask you a question. Have you seen? Let me ask you this question. Have you talked or read any oil experts' forecast where they said that gas prices are going to go down before 2027?
Bro, unless they have a time machine.
I'm asking you a question. I asked you a question.
Actual history.
Can you answer my question?
We actually have.
Can you answer my question? Can you answer my question? This is a very straightforward question.
I don't like to talk about the future because I don't have a time machine.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You're talking about
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Hold on. You don't want to. You said you don't like to forecast. You don't like to talk about the future. But when Biden was in office, that's all you guys fucking talk about. The future of the next president. Hold on. Can you let me finish? Can you let me finish?
Go ahead.
This is your problem. You don't like to let people finish. The whole time you guys were campaigning was about everything's high and what Trump's going to do when he gets in. That's forecasting. You're betting on the next guy. Let me finish. You're betting on your guy is going to make it better. That's why you vote. You've come in. Every metric is worse than it was before. Every single one. Commodities are up. We owe $175 billion in tariffs. You can't buy any commodity cheaper now besides eggs than you could when Donald Trump when Biden was in office. That's a fact. And by the way, the EIA, now they don't go down? Now they don't go down. It's funny how you're saying now they don't go down, but when Biden was in office,
that's what inflation is. Inflation's never negative unless it's a depression like in 08.
Okay, perfect. So if that's the case, then why did you bring up the report of inflation?
Because things kept getting more expensive under Biden. They kept getting
hold on. This will be my last point. 2 minutes.
We had
hold on.
2 months under Trump. Things are getting more expensive.
Go back to your other chart. Go back to your other chart. Go back to your other chart.
Here's inflation.
2 minutes.
Well, tell me, because you said prices and shit don't go back down. Tell me when inflation started going back down.
What do you mean? It decided to slow down at then 24 toward the end.
So it did start going back down.
So there you go.
Consumer pricing did start going back down.
It started leveling off.
You just said it never goes back down. You see how ill-equipped you are for these conversations?
It never goes negative. The only time it goes negative.
Yeah. All right, folks. I gotta move it on. As always.
Last word, Tim, since he came up. Last last word, since he's bringing it up, he didn't say anything that I didn't already say. But the funny thing is, you don't know how to read charts. You don't know how this shit works. And can I finish?
More than 2 months, right?
Can I finish? That doesn't mean that the prices aren't higher.
Yeah, there's only been a month and a half of it.
You can say it's only been. You can say it's only been 2 months, but I can say we've been in a world conflict for 2 months as well.
Okay. So
in other words, we got to come back and talk. In other words, we got to come back and.
Well, he does.
Yeah,
he does because he doesn't read.
Yeah, in other words, MAGA, you'll be tasked to having to defend this when we do reach those months. And I don't think we're gonna be. It ain't gonna get better. But I gotta move it on, folks. All right.
I don't think we are.
All right, appreciate it.
You can drop me down. You can drop me down. And by the way, before I go, Duke. Next time, be a man and have a conversation, my guy. All that chirping in the comments, all you gotta do is hit the button. I'll even pay for it. How about that?
Oh, all
when
right.
I come to your platform, you never bring me up.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Thank you. Moving on. There you go. Duke, you've been invited. Real quick in the comments, since there was a galaxy sent on his behalf. Jeremy Summers, yes, we will. Duke, are you busy?
What's going on there, Hamson?
Not much at all. We're in the trenches as usual. You obviously wanted to be in the, would you rather be in the comment section?
I can't really argue. I can't argue at work. Okay, I can talk to you, but all this all loud talking and back and forth here, I'm really not supposed to be on live while I'm at work.
Okay.
So, but that's why I don't want to. 3 or 4 people. Maybe I was at the house. I would do that, but I can't do it right now. But listen here, I'm gonna try to say that I'm hiding it. Look, man, all this crying, in 2 months of high gas prices, 60 days ago, the conflict started. Right?
Right.
Okay. 60 days and the time has run out.
Okay.
Before the conflict started, gas prices was hovering around what?
$2.50.
Not $2.50. Well below what Joe Biden was.
That ain't true. That ain't true.
Hey, before Donald Trump came into office, what was gas prices at?
I should have had MAGA Reacts back up here with his chart, but let me just say, hold on. Let me.
One-on-one.
I'm about to answer it. I'm not about to bring anybody up, but I'm going to.
What's gas prices at?
I'm trying to answer your question. Okay. When did he leave office? Alexa, what was the average price of gas at the end of Biden's term?
The average gas price at the end of Biden's term was about $3.60 per gallon.
$3.60. Alexa, stop. $3.60.
Around $3.66. During the Trump administration, before this conflict started, how much was gas?
I mean,
you said how much was it? How much was it?
I know around the State of the Union address, it had went down to about $2.50.
About $2.50. Around that, So really about 2 months versus the entire most of Biden's administration when gas is high. I think 2 months versus 6-7 months. Yeah, we was complaining.
Okay, here's the problem. To make let me respond to you. To make Trump look better, we got to compare him to the worst of the Biden administration. That's why you hear people saying, even though gas is $4 and some a gallon now, they're saying it was higher under Biden. Most of Biden's term, gas was cheaper than it is now. You got to pick the worst of his administration to make this work.
Cheaper where?
You just heard Alexa say it was $3.60 at the end of it.
Doing what? 2025?
Biden left office in January 2025 at the end of his term.
Yeah, how about 2024?
What month? Pick a month.
The whole year.
Alexa, what was the average price of gas in June of 2024? Your background is so loud. Your background so loud. It's over. It's over. I asked you what fucking month.
I said the whole year.
It's gonna be different.
The whole year, bro. Oh man, really? You're cherry picking now, right?
No, I said to make this work, you got to pick the worst of the Biden administration and compare it to Trump. Okay, so you want me to give you the whole year? No, I'm picking certain parts of his administration.
Boy, y'all just want to admit. You won't give Trump credit for nothing, will you?
That made no sense what you just did. That made no sense.
2 months ago, just 2 months ago, the War Powers Act is over with. Just 2 months ago, I didn't hear you complaining about lower gas prices. I didn't hear you complaining. Did you?
No, I actually made a video asking, should we give Trump credit for the cheap gas prices? I was celebrating it.
Why is it now just 2 months you boo-hooing over 60 days of a little bit of bro?
Let me answer that. Let me answer that.
Forget about that because
no. Hold on. Let me answer that. You raised a legitimate point, and my answer to you is this: I think it's the bragging, Duke. It's not that what Trump is doing is the end of the fucking world, but when you brag that you're going to be Superman and you're going to be outstanding, you literally raise the bar for yourself so high that you're going to get criticized for stuff other presidents might not. Like 2 months is what you're saying. When you get up there and say how awesome you are all day, all the time, you're not going to get the same leeway for even short-term pain that other presidents might get because you brag so much. That's where it's coming from.
You're right. I have been around since LBJ. Every president has bragged a lot. I remember just recently when Obama bragged about closing Guantanamo Bay.
You're trying to tell me.
When I talk about your hero Obama, it shafts your ass all of a sudden because you remember what I'm telling you, but you're like, stop using Obama. I'm going to use Obama. He said, I'm going to close Guantanamo Bay. I'm going to bring the country together. I am going to take troops out of Iraq. I am going to do this. And what did he do? Man, he was the, you talking about going to other countries and kabooming people without any authorization from Congress. How he did it. And I applauded him. I applauded him when he went, let me talk, like you did him. I applauded him when he went into Pakistan without authorization, without letting anybody know, which could have been a big conflict challenging another nuclear power country to go get Osama bin Laden, which he didn't show proof to nobody. He dumped it supposedly in the sea.
Okay, I gotta interrupt you. I gotta interrupt you for a quick. I gotta interrupt. Hold on. I gotta. News Nation has a breaking news ticker that says Trump is saying Project Freedom has been halted. So Project Freedom was America saying we're going to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Well, according to News Nation right now, there's a breaking news ticker that says President Trump has stated Project Freedom has been halted. So
they said the reason why?
Probably because Iran was like, fuck your freedom. We're going to keep bombing these boats.
You don't know the reason why.
No, I don't know.
Just say, hey, it's been halted. I don't know the reason why. You don't know the reason why.
Okay.
They might have came up, Iran might have speculated. Iran may have came up with a deal, say, all right, we just open it up. You don't know. Go find out the facts first and then find out what's the deal.
But are you really trying to indicate all presidents brag to the same level just like Trump does?
Yeah. They do. Which president didn't?
All of them. I don't know any. You think George W. Bush bragged like Trump?
George W. Bush did brag. God damn, he bragged. Come on now. Oh, Lord Jesus. You know what? I understand you're a liberal. I understand.
Okay.
You got to keep that liberal persona, okay? Especially for your platform. But come on, man. Really? Did George W. Bush lie and brag? He stood right out there on a ship that said mission accomplished.
Right. But you're putting them in the same. You're putting them in the same categories.
Wait a minute. He stood up on a ship that said mission accomplished. Right out there off the Gulf of Florida. And he bragged. Was the mission accomplished?
Mike the Sailor, thank you for the TikTok cap. A few of you guys, thank some of you folks.
I can't get an answer, can I?
No, you're crazy, that's why. I don't give answers to crazy people. You're gonna tell me all of the things that look, we were at war with Iraq for I don't know how many years. Bush did say the mission accomplished and he was held to account for saying something that was totally not accurate. But Trump's only been at war with Iran for what, 2 months or so, as you're rightfully pointing out. And he done said all kinds of shit that's not accurate.
Yes, Donald Trump says a lot of stuff that's not accurate. I haven't seen a president yet that said everything that was not accurate. Can you name me one? Can you name me one president that said everything was accurate? Please name me one.
I thought he was gonna be the different guy.
Don't do that. Name me one.
Oh my God. No president has ever been 100% accurate, but Trump's numbers on inaccuracy are higher than all of them.
Oh, bro, stop it, man. Stop it. What has he been inaccurate about? Tell me some of the things.
Shit, virtually everything about. He said we won the war on day one.
Yeah, that's a campaign promise, right?
No, he said we won already.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about Iran?
Yeah.
He was talking about Ukraine.
No.
Yeah, you ain't got your stuff correct.
That's not true.
He said on day one he's gonna stop the war between Russia and Ukraine.
That ain't what I said, Duke.
That's what he said
that
on day one.
You're talking
on day one. Oh Lord! On day he said he campaigned on day one. I'm gonna stop the war between Ukraine and Russia. Didn't he say that?
I'm not even talking about that.
That's what he said. That's what he ran on and campaigned.
Did he do? By the way, even though I ain't talking about that, did he do that?
You got your facts mixed up, don't you? You got them mixed up, right? Didn't you?
I think you got a noisy background, and you think you heard me say something I didn't.
I told you I can't. Hold on. Let me see if I can walk in here. Hold on. Now I got a noisy background. Let me take this off.
Because you're arguing a point that I did not even try to make.
Bro, you use Trump's word on day one.
I didn't say nothing about day one, Duke. I said that. Hold on, let me repeat it. President Trump said we won the Iran war in the first few hours. Is that true?
Yeah, they decimated. Yes, when you have a navy. When you have a Navy, and I'm ex-military, and your entire Navy, your complete Navy is underwater, when your air defenses, which you've been, I'm trying to be TikTok friendly, shooting at American aircraft, okay, is totally gone. When your whole defense system is gone. Has the United States accomplished its mission? Have we won?
That is our mission? Is just take out their military? That was never the mission.
Yes.
That's bullshit.
I'm gonna answer you. Yes, to get rid of their defense system and stop them from attacking other folks. Yes.
Okay.
Hey. Let me ask you this. Okay.
You're wrong.
Huh?
You are wrong. Let me respond, and then you can ask me whatever. I'll let you ask me whatever, but let me respond by telling you this. The purpose of the mission was to, 1, prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, was 2, to stop protesters from being killed, and 3, to replace the regime in Iran with somebody that Trump said he wanted to have say-so in. Taking out their military was the method to accomplish the mission. The mission was not to take out their military. We've taken out the military significantly, as you're rightfully pointing out, but none of the 3 goals he originally stated have been accomplished. So we ain't won shit. We haven't won. We haven't met the goal.
I remember Donald Trump saying that we're going to decimate the IRGC's military in order for the people to be able to rise up against the regime. Did he not say that in the speech?
Are they rising up?
Did he say that?
Are they rising up?
Not yet. Not yet. He said it's up to them.
So until you're even reciting the goal right there. Until the goal is met, you haven't taken out the military is the method you use to accomplish the goal. The goal ain't been accomplished yet though. So we haven't won.
Our goal was not to regime change.
That's what he said.
No, he did not. He never said he's going to do a regime change. He said in order to come to a regime change, the people will have to rise up and take out the regime.
Okay.
We are there to make sure that their nuclear capabilities is not going to be accomplished by having a defense system to do whatever they need to do. Have we accomplished that?
No.
We haven't. So their Navy is still existing.
I really think
their
that
Air Force, do they have an Air Force?
Wait, say that again?
Do they have an Air Force?
Did they really have one before we became
Oh, stop it. God.
Okay.
They had one of the most lethal forces in the Middle East.
Okay, let me play this. I haven't heard this, but I'm curious because it kind of goes along with what we're talking about. And then I'll let you respond on the other side.
Members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. To the members of the...
So, what do you think he meant by that?
What did he just say? Your hour, take over. Hey, citizens of Iran, take over your country. He didn't say nothing about the United States was going to take over your country. He said citizens of Iran. When we're finished, take over your country. Thank you, handsome liberal. I got to go back to work. I appreciate you. Thank you for proving my point. Stop crying about these goddamn gas prices. Thank you. Once again, MAGA has prevailed. See you later.
Duke, thanks for coming through. You're wrong. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. He is absolutely wrong. Duke is not like us, says Bass Boogie. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 115,000, if you will. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap. Hat and mustache goals. There you go. No president has been 100% accurate, says Hanson Conservative. That's true. But if I'm not accurate 20% of the time, and you're not accurate 70% of the time, are we in the same circle? I mean, just like he pointed out that all presidents are boastful and all presidents brag, but he tried to suggest that President Bush bragged as much as Trump? Based on what? So he absolutely made some statements that I don't know what would have made him say it. So I'll leave it at that. I don't see what you're not agreeing with. He made a very clear and correct point. I'm not agreeing with the semantics of it, Duke. Look, when you're talking about President Trump saying things that are not accurate, does quantity matter at all? If Trump says 100 things are not accurate about the war we're in right now, and Bush says 5, they're in the same category because they both said some things that were not accurate. The quantity of things that lack accuracy coming from Trump is significantly greater than most presidents. Remember, President Trump is the one that said COVID would be gone by April. It was just going to go away. Other presidents are not in that category. That's the point I'm making, is that the quantity of inaccuracies should be taken into consideration as well. Had to leave the app, bring me up on Substack, Acheron. Let me know real quick in the comments. I did want to bring up another guest if I can. We'll see if it brings them up. Looking in the comments, I cannot pronounce that. Ariku or something like that. We locked up the president of Venezuela. What do you mean we locked him up? Oh, Maduro. Yeah, we did lock up Maduro. We did that. I'm thinking you were in a different country for some strange reason. Jeremy, good evening.
Hey Tim, how you been?
I'm doing good. Good to see you on the program. So you've heard enough. What am I getting wrong here?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. It's really annoying to hear hear people play team sports. I'm actually going to be writing an article on this very platform very soon, called "The New Rules for Conservatives," where I try to address that team sports need to die and people need to put principles before leadership, because a lot of this isn't very conservative to begin with. Most of what President Trump is doing isn't conservative at all. Now, in 2016 and 2020, I was willing to vote for him because I thought like the big things he was going for were the things that I was actually willing to support. And I was willing to forgive his past while acknowledging it, sleeping around with prostitutes and all that, because of what he was going to accomplish. And now I kind of realize as well, if someone has had that kind of a past and has never addressed it, or at least never admitted that they were wrong, it's probably not a good idea to give them just leeway and carte blanche.
Wow, and on TikTok, they really acknowledge you. Devo says, "Wow, is this really Jeremy?" Yes, that is Jeremy. But Rod says, "Damn, you bringing up all the MAGA demons up." Now we make sure we get as much MAGA on the program as possible. Is fortunate we're getting many today because a lot of times it's mainly all liberal. So we do like to get MAGA up as much as possible. But now you're pointing out, Jeremy, rightfully so, if you ask me, that most of the operations of Trump he's not a conservative. He's not operating like a traditional Reagan, Romney, McCain, Bush conservative. But why do you think MAGA, who overwhelmingly have a history of voting conservative, why are they supporting what President Trump is doing, even though, as you rightfully point out, not only is it not conservative, a lot of it is big government oriented?
The reason why is because I think part of it is sunk cost fallacy. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, you put so much in it you don't want to leave out of it.
Yeah, and a lot of it, and I had some of that too. I was kind of like, okay, he's doing some things I don't like. Okay, well, give him a little time. Give him a little time. Okay, a little more time. Okay, he's still not doing it. Oh shit, he's still not doing it. He's still not doing it. Fuck. That's kind of.
You said exactly what I said about when MAGA React said gas prices only been this way for 2 or 3 months. You got to wait till it's 7 months. That's exactly what I said. I said in 7 months, you're just gonna come up with another reason, like you just said. Give it more time. No matter what happens, they're gonna keep saying give it more time.
Yeah, and the thing is, we can be honest here and admit that someone is not doing what they say they're going to do. Okay, that's what we have to be willing to do. Again, one of my new rules is principles come first, not idols. That's rule number 5. And I think that it's not just that; it's also that the people you mentioned before, like the Rubios, the Mitt Romneys, people like that. Some of these people are a little too establishment in some ways, and I think that we did need someone to break the establishment. But now I kind of realize that maybe Trump wasn't the person to do that. He was the person able to do it, but he was not the
I don't get how this man could hang around the Clintons, hang around all of the folks in politics. You hear him often brag about he gave money to Jesse Jackson's campaign. I don't get how he could climb up in a corrupt city like New York, building businesses and shit with the mob and not be called the establishment. He is as deeply rooted in the establishment as you can get. I don't understand how folks ever thought he was not part of the establishment.
Right, but he wasn't as establishment as Clinton was back in 2016.
Based on what?
No, hold on. We can't deny that he was less establishment than her. She was literally the first lady at one point. She's a Secretary of State. She had been in politics for fucking ever and had a similar background to Trump when it came to business and stuff like that. She was as establishment as it comes, and even more so.
Okay.
So I'm willing to give him that.
Okay,
But,
so Hillary Clinton was more establishment than him. Okay, I can agree with that. But he absolutely was the establishment. The MAGA was saying he ain't part of the establishment. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it is to a degree. I will say that he at least projected himself as being willing to do things differently, to a degree. But even then, he's still he's a grifter. And the one thing I want people like MAGA reacts to understand is you need to leave the internet for a little bit and realize you need to go outside. And here's the thing. I'm going to say the same thing to Mike. Mike needs to do the same thing. There's a reason why I haven't been posting videos on TikTok. Number one, TikTok kind of sucks. I'm going to be doing a lot more articles on Substack because Substack's a little bit more high IQ. You actually have to be willing to read and shit over here. I like this platform, and I hope it doesn't turn into Instagram or Twitter.
No guarantee on that. Blue One Banks, thank you.
Yeah, but
and real quick before you continue, Handsome Conservative is over on. I got to get my platform straight. He's on Clapper. He's saying you're definitely a Democrat based on your rhetoric. Now you voted for Trump in 16. Did you vote for him again in 20 as well?
Yep, I voted for him in 20 and in 2024. All 3 times. So so if he wants to call me a Democrat, that's okay. I think that's I think calling me a Democrat is kind of his way of calling me a coon without calling me a coon.
That's interesting. Yeah. And real quick before you continue your statement, Ed G in the comments, I apologize for being late to reading this. He says, let's be honest, markets are at highs. If after Trump 4 years they are higher and gas is lower and food is down, you guys would just say it's Biden's economy effects just now taking. Look, I'm blamed, as I always say, when you're the coach of the team, if the team wins, you get a trophy and Gatorade thrown on you. If the team lose, you may get fired. It doesn't matter if you were a great coach and your players suck. If the team is losing, they're going to blame you. If you're a terrible coach, but you happen to be coaching Jordan or somebody and winning championships, they're going to give you a ring as well. So as far as I'm concerned, when you're president, you get credit for the wins and losses. All of this stuff that Trump is doing about, I take credit for the victories and I blame everybody else for the defeats. I don't buy that. Just like I didn't buy it when Biden was trying to do it. You are president. What happens under your watch, you get credit for.
You're responsible. You're 100% responsible. Yeah. And again, you know what? Here's the thing. I've talked about how a lot of this is team sports and it's not actually honesty. Here's what I think. I think too many people are addicted to their phones. I think too many people are addicted to the internet. And I think that they've become so infatuated with their team that they don't realize it's okay to be an individual. And it's okay to not have an online presence that's super strong. Again, that's part of the reason why I'm here on Substack, because again, higher IQ, and also I'm not gonna write anything until I have something actually useful to say. But there's tons of people on the left and the right. I don't want to give the left any kind of thought that I'm just going to let them off the hook either, who are absolutely being paid to just say things either by large corporations or their entire livelihood is about finding the current events and finding a way to spin it where it's bad for the country and it aligns with my politics that you were angry about this. It's outrage culture. Outrage culture. I'm outraged about this today. Give me money. I'm outraged about that today. Give me money. And I'm tired of the lack of nuance.
Some of
people have in their opinions.
While I'll admit a lot of that is politics, I do believe it's gotten worse under President Trump, mainly because he himself has been doing it. Whereas, we were divided to some degree under Biden, under Obama, under Bush, et cetera, et cetera. But when you got it coming from the White House itself, that makes it significantly worse. President Trump himself is in a lot of the things where the Democrats may have said about the Republican president or the Republicans may have said about the Democrat president, it didn't normally come from the Oval Office. But President Trump has taken it to a whole new level by literally leaving the White House and jumping in the mud himself. So he's made it get much worse.
Yeah, I know. And again, I'm tired of people abandoning their principles. Tim, you're a liberal. I'm a conservative. We don't have the same kind of beliefs.
Okay.
I'm pro-life. And here's something you're going to find kind of extreme about me. I only have one exception for my pro-life stance, which is life of the mother. Not even for grape. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally disagree with that. Yeah, I totally disagree.
Yeah, I know. We have a disagreement. But here's the thing. I don't think you're a liar. I don't think you're a liar about what you believe. We could actually have a nuanced conversation about what it means to why you believe what you believe and why I believe what I believe. But the thing is, with a lot of MAGA, if all of a sudden Trump came out tomorrow and said, we need to make sure that every woman has the access to abortion, the evangelicals would be like, well, Master says so. It's like, come on, stop it.
So you believe that Trump could make MAGA change, and evangelicals even, wow, he could make them change their stance on even abortion rights?
Yeah, but not Catholics.
Wow.
The Pope would shoot that down almost immediately.
Trump is shooting the Pope down. I mean, he's pretty much said he don't like the Pope.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That whole Jesus posters or nonsense.
Can you imagine? Let's just be honest. Can you imagine Obama posting a picture of himself as Jesus? How MAGA would react to that compared to how they're reacting to Trump doing it?
I mean, people were angry when fans of Obama were doing that for him, and it wasn't the White House. It wasn't Obama himself doing it. Now the actual man in power is doing it, and people are like yes, very good, arf, 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 like a barking seal.
Well, the man did say he thought it was him as a doctor, though.
Yeah, I know, right? The spin doctor, that's what we'll call him.
Well, so you sound like, is it safe to say, I get you're criticizing Trump. He didn't do some of the things you were looking forward to, but is it safe to say you regret your vote?
Yes.
Wow.
And here's the thing, but here's the thing. A lot of people are going to come after me for that. And I already know what the conservatives are going to say. I don't really care that much because it's predictable what they're going to say. But the people on the left are going to say, like, now you have to apologize. No, I fucking don't. No, I don't. I don't. Because here's the thing. You only get to vote once every 4 years. You only get to vote once every 4 years, and once it's in, and you can't do anything about it, okay? And when people tell you to apologize, it's okay. I could easily point out plenty of times that people ignored all sorts of things about their candidates because they wanted their team to win.
Yeah. I don't favor saying you should apologize, because I'll often say that there are legitimate reasons to vote for Trump. I mean, even for blacks, who they say blacks should steer clear of Trump, I believe even in 2024, there were legitimate reasons for black people to vote for Trump. Fact is, as I say all the time, he promised a lot of good shit. If you believed what he was promising, he wasn't going to just go after 5-year-old immigrants. He was going after rapists and murderers. I mean, if based on what he promised, if he had got in the White House and just simply did what he promised, I think he would have went down to history as a fairly good, as a very good president. If he had just he's obviously went in totally different directions from what he promised. We're at war now, and he was going to end those wars, and it's not America first, it's Venezuelan citizens, and now he's talking about the citizens in Iran. He's focused on everything else. But if he had literally did what he campaigned on, I think he would have went down to history as a fairly decent president. I mean, the minorities would have still had issues with him for some of the things he promised, but he didn't promise, for instance, to start getting rid of Black history and rolling back Juneteenth and all this crazy shit. Yeah. What he campaigned on wasn't that bad for many members of the country.
Right, exactly. And here's the thing. I think that there are legitimate questions to have, like, is abortion murder? Or things like, should we treat illegal immigrants harsher? Or, although I think a better question is, why the hell are the people hiring illegal immigrants not in prison? I think it's a better question. I think both the left and the right can agree on. Yeah. There are legitimate questions we have to have. And Tim, if I'm ever in Chicago, we can always hang out and we can have these kind of discussions. I'm in Wisconsin, so I'm not far from you. But again, these are questions that need to be happening between civilized people with an IQ above room temperature.
Some of it, I'm going to give you the elephant in the room. A lot of the immigrant stuff is based on hate. That's why they're not going after Americans that hired them and things like that, and only going after the immigrant. because it ain't necessarily just them coming here and working is the problem. Is I don't like those people, because you're right. If you really think that the illegal immigration is a major problem to America, anybody caught hiring them should be. You don't see them going at the Tyson Foods or some of these companies that have a history of hiring illegal immigrants. You know, so would I. But you have never heard President Trump, who is campaigning constantly on talking about the misdeeds of illegals and things that the country is sufferings of this country from illegal immigration. Not once have you ever heard him talking about going after Americans that hire them or any of that. So yeah, it's not about really the problem. It's about the people he don't like.
Well, and I would go so far as to say that for the people who voted for him, I don't think it's always is that, and I think the majority of people who voted for him don't hate illegals. Well, actually, yeah, I would say that too. I would say they just want to say, like, we have a rule here. We want that rule to be enforced, because otherwise borders mean nothing and then rules mean nothing. And then we just have chaos and disorder.
I gotta move it on, but I slightly disagree with you. I'll say this. If he's just deporting people and the right says, look, we're a nation of laws, we got to follow our laws, I don't necessarily see a problem with that. But when you see videos of ICE really like pepper spraying people and you see them shooting Alex Pretty, and people in the comments like, yeah, this is what I voted for, rah, rah, rah. That's hate. That's hate. Yeah, it's a difference between enforcing the laws and celebrating brutality. When you see them really brutalizing people, them folks that's in the comments saying, that's what I voted for. I voted for Alligator Alcatraz and taking pictures with the signs and shit like that. Them folks, it's about hate. Last word to you.
I'll say this. So I'm not against using harsh measures to enforce the law, but again, that requires due process, and that also requires everybody face those same things, including citizens. And the last thing I will say is look out for my article that I'm going to be publishing by the end of this week. New rules for conservatives. It's going to be really trying to hold people to account and say, hey, if we're going to be conservative, we actually have to be fucking conservative, not Trump.
If you post that shit, you're going to be a rhino by tomorrow. I got to go. Appreciate it, Jeremy. Thanks for coming through. Go ahead and drop for me. Thank you. Looking in the comments, stop feeling sorry that Trump folded. You all, some of you just didn't think you would be affected and fix what you fucked up. Well, I do believe there is some of that. I think everybody was okay with the treatment as long as it didn't happen to them. And unfortunately for a lot of folks that voted for Trump, some of the things Trump is doing is happening to them. Like, you want to get rid of rapists and murderers. People who, prisons, Trump said they were letting out prisons and insane asylums. I haven't seen any evidence of that, but that's what he's saying. Fine, get rid of all the bad people. And then all of a sudden, somebody who voted for Trump finds out they're taking your spouse and deporting her. She ain't done nothing wrong. She just didn't cross a T or dot an I on her paperwork. She's not from an insane asylum. She hasn't committed any felonies. Well, it's happening to you now. And that's what has happened to a lot of folks. I want to make sure that countries have a fair trade with America. And we're going to level it off by imposing tariffs on countries that have been abusing us. Folks are like, yay, do that. All of a sudden, you mean I'm losing my farm because of this shit? They didn't expect it to happen to them. And that's what is taking place, is a lot of folks are now suffering because they thought what he was doing was going to be harsh to someone else, and it's gotten on them. Tap the screen, get us up to 130. Looking in the comments, why are they buying all these factories to turn into camps if they are deporting them? Wake up, people. What do you think is happening? You said they're buying the factories, the holding centers. What do you think this is? The makings of Auschwitz and Buchenwald? You're saying, I agree with you. They are buying these huge factories that are supposed to be holding centers until you're deported. But you're saying, why would you buy these if you're not going to? What do you think is going to happen? That's a hell of a conversation to have. I'm under the impression, just like with Alligator Alcatraz, they're going to, while you are fighting your case, they're going to hold you in one of these facilities in the worst conditions possible, by the way, and then they'll deport you. And the purpose of the bad conditions is simple. If you're up for deportation with due process and you're trying to fight your deportation, the goal is to drag out your case for as long as possible while you're in a facility that's treating you inhumane. The food sucks. The climate control is awful. If it's really hot outside, then it's really hot inside. We're not going to give you an air condition. If it's really cold outside, it's going to probably be really cold in here. We're going to give you limited heating. Just give you the, shower once a week or something like that. Just give you the worst conditions possible, because the goal is to get you to self-deport. If conditions suck enough, you'll give up your case and just say, fuck it, it ain't even this bad in Mexico. That is the goal, and that has been working. That's why you hear them bragging about the self-deportation numbers, because the holding facilities are horrible. That's why they don't let Congress and the Red Cross in those facilities, because it is horrible. So we want to get you to self-deport. So we're going to treat you like shit while you're fighting your case as an incentive for you to give up. Looking in the comments here, no fighter has gotten out of a fight without getting punched in the mouth. Nothing worth it doesn't have a path that stings a little. Sometimes I have to sacrifice to come out the other side better. Yeah, but you do want to feel these sacrifices worth it. I think when it comes to the sacrifice we're making right now in regards to stopping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, the problem is simple. Most people do not believe the sacrifice is worth it, because they don't believe that there's a large portion of America that doesn't believe Iran was obtaining a nuclear weapon to begin with. First of all, the liberals are going to believe that when Obama said they were following the provisions of the deal, they were doing it. So you already don't have the liberals. Thank you, Scott Penny, for the hat, the TikTok cap. Thank you. Some of you folks that are supporting the program. Few of you, thank you very much, Scott Penny. We're somewhat near the goal, but thank you, Scott Penny. So first, you don't have the liberals. They believe Obama when he says they actually were following the deal and Trump is wrong. Now, you also have some independents and some Republicans, even some MAGA, that believe Tulsi Gabbard, who also said that Iran was not obtaining a nuclear weapon. That's part of Trump's own administration that testified they're not trying to develop a nuclear weapon. So you got a sitting president that said it, and you now have a member of the Trump administration. Additionally, in addition to that, you also have nothing short of a host of lies coming from Netanyahu that you can readily find online over the years, of him saying they were only weeks away from obtaining a nuclear weapon, going all the way back to 1994. Every few years he was on tape again saying they were about to develop a nuclear weapon. So when you say sacrifice, short-term pain for long-term gain, a lot of folks think the short-term pain was not necessary. The sacrifice was not necessary. You started a war for something that wasn't about to happen. And until proof is presented to the American public and probably the rest of the world, because most of Europe don't think they were that close either, people are not going to think the sacrifice was just. It's as simple as that. Al's AI said it was 239 after Trump's first term. Ed G, I'm late reading some of your, a couple of your super chats, so my apologies. The Bison Return says, as loud as Duke is talking, Mike could have stayed. Well, Duke didn't want to talk to Mike. That's what you had. Duke did not want to talk to Mike. Mr. G says, a bit off topic. How do you feel about the virus coming from a cruise ship, seeing you just came from one? That's scary. That's scary. When I was on a cruise ship, every time you go to the bathroom, they literally they don't just put up signs telling you how important it is to wash and sanitize your hands. They hire people. So when you're going to eat, there's a person standing there, jokingly friendly, but the person is washy. The person is trying to incentivize you to wash your hands to stop the spread of diseases and illnesses. They actually have somebody they hired. So every time you go for a meal, there's somebody standing there. And then there's several tubs of sinks, sanitizer, napkins, and what do you call it? Paper towels is what I'm looking for. And they're all right there. So you can do all that stuff right there on the spot. But the way he's saying washy, and everybody's washing their hands, it just kind of not only incentivizes you, but it makes you feel like you kind of wrong as if you walk past them and don't do it. So there is a lot of folks washing their hands and stuff like that. And that would help the spread of some illness. Now, the illness that they're catching, I did look, first of all, they're not in America. They're not on our coast. And it's a much smaller cruise ship. But also, the illness they caught comes from apparently, and thank you for that disco ball there, handsome conservative. Appreciate that on Clapper. It comes from contact with rodent feces or rodents, which could absolutely happen anywhere. If mice get on the ship, the food is kept at the bottom of the ship or whatever. If mice are down there going through the food and they're eating it and they're, mice, rat droppings or shit droppings in the food, and then they cook it in the buffet or whatever, and you eat that, that's where it can come from. And that can absolutely happen. I mean, I don't know if you're eating a steak and there's if you've seen mice droppings, they're pretty small. You probably could eat that and not know you were eating that. So, I mean, it absolutely could happen. Clapper sounds crazy, says Marquise. No, it's not. Actually, you want to come up live, it's probably a better place to be in some cases. When did the racist people get in? What do you mean? I don't understand the question. Get in what? You are dumber, poorer, less healthy than 99% of the world, Todd. You literally cannot be offensive. What are you guys talking about? Anyway, I'll go back to the box. Tap the screen, get us up to 130,000, if you will. I noticed you didn't tell him my answer to his question about abortion. Oh, I'll read your answer. Your answer was, yes, taking a life is murder. That is not complicated. True. But I don't see how you can support Trump or this administration, or really the United States in general. I don't care what administration. We murder people all the time. I just don't. If you support the American government, you're supporting murder. We're involved in the wrongful killings of people constantly. To me, it makes no sense, particularly if you're supporting Trump. But Obama was probably doing some of this shit in the background as well. America does this stuff to propel our best interests. So I don't see, to me, it doesn't make sense that anybody in America could, I don't think it makes sense to claim you're pro-life and support our government, really on either side of the aisle. We murder people all the time. We're not a pro-life government. I mean, Trump just bombed a whole school full of girls and blamed it on the Iranians, didn't apologize or anything. And then he just followed it up by threatening to take their water supply away and kill their whole civilization. Ain't nothing pro-life about that shit. Them people, all of them ain't got nothing to do with the Ayatollah. You threatening to kill all kinds of innocent people. So, I don't get the pro-life stance. I just don't. I'm hearing all kinds of pro-choice in that. All of that's optional. All of that shit's optional. Real quick in the comments before we move on. Jeremy, what did I say? Jeremy took a break from the net and came back a hell of a lot more tolerable. I commend it. CBOG Kush on Substack says Jeremy took a break from the internet and came back a hell of a lot more tolerable. Well, look, I mean, there's a lot of things that Trump promised that he's going the other way on. Unless you just really want to give Trump credit and you really like the guy and you're really willing to flip with him, you can't blame him for that. Magarax thinks this is Call of Duty. Come to the real world. He's our president and we support him. You're stupid if you don't support our president, says Donna. Did you feel that way about Biden, Obama, Clinton? Or do you only feel that way about Trump? That if you don't, because President Trump did not support Obama or Biden. Was he stupid? Because according to you, you're stupid if you don't support our president. Does that only apply when it's a president you like? Mind you that Iran don't have Tomahawk cruise. Yeah, Iran did not bomb that school. That's a flat out lie that Trump tried to make face for. But yeah, we, or at the very least, either we or Israel bombed that school. That's it. It didn't happen. The Iranians didn't bomb their own damn school. That was a lie. Let me go back to the box. Chris, I think it says Jeremy went on what does that say? I don't know what that says. Huska trip, Sherbert. Tap the screen, get us on up to 100, get us up to 130. We'll take the next caller. We'll try it right now with the one and only Stick Darula. Good evening, Stick. It's our country, dumbass. You're supporting terrorists over president and putting out misinformation. Your president puts out fucking misinformation. You just support it. President Trump puts out misinformation all the damn time. But you hear it in criticism. Trump could get on the internet and say, I'm a white man. And you would make up some kind of defense for why he was right. But then when I get on there and criticize Trump, now you suddenly got an issue with misinformation. Eating cats and dogs and all that shit that man be saying. All of that stuff is misinformation. They're letting out insane asylums and prisons into America. Notice he hasn't named a single insane asylum, a single prison. It hasn't happened. Notice he hasn't mentioned that. So you can see misinformation, but you can't see it when it comes from Trump. A lot of the shit he said about the 2020 election is misinformation. He literally called the folks that were storming the Capitol building patriots. Is that accurate? You believe that? I tried to bring up Stick. He did not come through, so we'll make it happen with Travelman. Everything he said was true. All right, but Donna, look, if that's your stance, we do have another guest that's like that, Donna. I mean, I appreciate your input, Donna, even if we don't agree. But we have another guest similar to what you're saying, Straight Talk Commerce, who says the same thing, that everything Trump says is true. He doesn't lie about anything. I have Trump was right about everything he had around here somewhere. I used to fly it when he said things that were correct. He hasn't been telling the truth a lot, despite what you're saying. Thank you for the TikTok cap there, kinda Mike. Travelman, good evening.
How you doing, Tim?
Oh, I don't even know, man. They coming down on me hard. Do you see it that way, that if we're at war with a country and criticizing our efforts or reason for attacking that country, do you see that as unpatriotic, like what Donna and some of my folks in the comments are saying?
Attacking a country based on lies is unpatriotic.
But some folks believe that as a patriot to this country, you should stand by and defend your country no matter what it does.
If your country attack another country based on lies, that's unpatriotic. You're doing a disservice to the country.
So you should speak up.
That's the way I see it.
So you should speak up.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. And real quick, go ahead.
No.
I was responding
to a moral thing, man.
Yeah, you got my agreements, and thank you, kind of Mike. Appreciate the love. Real quick in the comments, Donna says you're making shit up and changing the shit he says. Explain what you're talking about, Donna. I'll give your comment due diligence, but let me know what I'm making up or what I'm changing, and then we'll tackle it. So do you agree, Travelman, that we did attack Iran based on lies?
It was. Everything that Trump is a pathological liar. And MAGA, the thing about Trump is he repeats the same thing over and over and over. I give you an example. The countries emptied their prisons and insane asylums and sent all the crazy.
He said it again today. He said that today.
He says it all the time.
Yeah, he said it today.
It's a straight up lie. It's a straight up lie.
Yeah,
nobody's proved it. He said today, standing up in front of the small business group that he had, we have $18 trillion in investments. That's a lie.
Wait, okay. You said he said, what about small businesses? Repeat that again.
No, he had a small business forum at the White House today.
Mm-hmm.
And he was speaking, and one of the claims he made was that since he's been back in office the second time, they have $18 trillion commitments from countries to invest in the U.S. And that's a lie.
Yeah,
that's a lie. It's not even on WhiteHouse.gov. It's not even up there. It's a lie.
I'll tell you something. I understand why Trump does it, kind of like, similar to what you're saying, is because MAGA's going to repeat it. So if we're having a debate on the accomplishments of President Trump, one of the things they're going to throw out that Trump did that's really great is he got all of this, as you just said, they promised to do these investments. So if he lies about something, it's going to enter debates as things he's accomplished.
That's why he keeps repeating it over and over and over. We went into Iran with LOPP, lack of proper planning. And as a result, this is what we have. And people tend to, we've been at war for Iran for 47 years. Bullshit. That's a talking point. Every time they come up with a talking point, they stay on point. That's all they talk about. They don't know anything else.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how many MAGA. I had somebody today, I think was MAGA, say that we've been at war with Iran for 47 years.
Yeah. You know, and another thing too is they say, well, when did Trump lie? You know why they don't hear his lies? Because they watch Fox News, OAN, Newsmax. What's that other one? Fox, Newsmax,
Newsmax, and OAN are the main three. I don't know what is
the main three, but then it's about 4 or 5 other ones too. Like Scott Jennings is on a particular station, you know. So you got some on, and that's what they do. Or they get their stuff from Epoch News, or what's them clowns, Prager, you know, shit like that. So they don't hear it, you know. Like, I mean, these people are pathetic, man. They pathetic, really. You know, anybody that voted for Trump, they disregarded everything this man has said or done.
I don't agree with that. As I said, I've said it even today. There are legitimate reasons. People may have just simply believed what he said he was going to do. There's a lot of Trump supporters, Jeremy being one of them that came up earlier, that's not happy with Trump. They believed this guy, and I believed it. I believed that he was going to end the Ukraine-Russian war in 24 hours. Not in 24 hours, but I did.
Tim, no, you didn't.
No, here we are. And I was saying this. My liberals, hold on. My liberals were tearing into me, but I'll tell you why. I said this. I believe that President Trump, who had a good relationship with Putin even as a businessman, much better than Kamala Harris, Biden, or Obama. I did believe if he became president, he would be able to work out some kind of deal with Putin and get that war to come to a conclusion. Now, a lot of other promises he made, I didn't believe, but that one I did. I actually believed it.
Yeah, and what did he do?
Nothing.
The only thing we do for Ukraine right now is we do provide intelligence to them. But right now, they are the drone experts in the world. Zelensky is traveling around to other countries, offering their services on drone warfare. They came to the White House and did a presentation to Trump and J.D. Couchhumper to offering their talents to offset the Iranian drones, and they turned them down. And I know you remember how they went in there and verbally abused the man when they had him in the White House.
Yeah, you don't have the cards. Yeah, you don't have the cards.
You don't have the cards. Who got the cards?
Yeah,
who is the most popular? They are kicking Russia's ass right now.
Well,
they bombing all, but Tim, they bombing oil fields. They're bombing their shadow fleet. They got drones. They can get all the way up to Siberia. They are
the thing is, Travelman, it's kind of that statement if you between the difference between giving a man a fish versus teaching him to fish. When Trump decided not to continue helping them like the Biden administration was doing, he basically propelled their efforts to the point where they've become better and more self-sufficient. So they were dependent on U.S. weapons. Now they're making their own shit better.
Oh, so now you're gonna give Trump credit?
I don't give him credit at all. Hold on. If you're giving me fish and keeping me alive, and then you suddenly stop, and I have to learn I don't give you credit for not helping me anymore. No, I don't give him credit for that.
So also now, don't forget that before Ukraine was holding their ground against Russia until the clowns in Congress decided to withhold the funding for 6 months. And that's when Russia started making progress again, when Ukraine was over there counting bullets and whatever, because the Republic, remember when they held up the funding up and they couldn't pass the bill? They had a bill for Ukraine, Israel, and something else, and they couldn't even pass their own damn bill.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And that's when Russia started making progress. And then once they passed it, and then Ukraine started doing their thing, and now they're advanced. They're building their own missiles and all kind of stuff.
And now they have the cards.
Trump is a bad leader. He is not a leader. He has downgraded the office of the presidency. None of these countries around the world are respecting him. The EU and
that
the
UK. That ain't what he says. And he says that
Trump. Just say you say this stuff. Trump is a pathological liar.
The man says
But
man says under Biden we were not respected. We're not the hottest country on earth. We're respected. Before you answer that, Jason said, "Is pardoning Trump's assassins any different than pardoning January 6th? I'm not aware of any assassin of Trump that was pardoned. If they do that, that's a different conversation."
Where did you get that shit from?
Where did you get that from? All of the people that tried to take Trump out, well, with the exception of the guy that was let me see. He wasn't president. He was not president when they tried to take him out at Butler. He was campaigning, but Biden didn't pardon that guy, and that guy served in life. Same thing with the guy that was on the golf course at Mar-a-Lago. I'm not aware who pardoned any of those folks.
He was hiding in the bushes. But let's come back. Let's come back to reality. Okay, you got. I think it's 31 countries that had a meeting to discuss the strait and how to get the ships through there. 31 countries, Tim, and the U.S. was not invited. 31 countries. Okay, the Chancellor of Germany is saying that, hey, we're being embarrassed by the Iranians. The big meeting they're having, I was reading about it today, I forget exactly where it at. They're bringing Mark Carney in from Canada. These are people that the world is looking to now. And not to mention Germany and Japan. The reason people like to talk about, well, why do we have them over, why we got them in Germany? We have a big presence in Germany, in Japan, because we kicked their ass. They could not have an army. They could only be a certain size. They could only make certain weapons. The same thing with Japan, because we had a total surrender. That is why we were there. And then we used the Marshall Plan to rebuild Europe. See, now Japan and Germany, they are increasing their defense budgets. They are starting to develop their own military-industrial complex or expand on it. You got Sweden and the other countries that also make good fighter jets and stuff. People see in the EU, in the UK, is the second largest economy behind the U.S. So people say we don't need them. They're the second largest economy. Yeah. We don't need them. I think where we gonna export our stuff to?
Yeah, I think that the difference is the EU, the European countries were more focused on helping their people. We've been more focused on building up our military might. So that's why our citizens, we don't have most of the entitlement programs that they have for their citizens, because look at what Trump is asking for the military now. What was it, 1.5 trillion or something like that?
$1.5 trillion.
Yeah,
what the hell do we need with? I think 2 years ago it was 750 some million. I think last year 800. What do we need with 1.5 trillion? And check this out. China is producing more ships than we are. They're producing more fighter jets than we are. And then to top it off, what's the newest jet? The F-35 or something 35. Like that?
Well, they got a 47 coming out after Trump.
Fuck 47. They cannot, in the fighter jets, the radar and some of the stuff is in the nose of the plane, right?
Yeah.
They are shipping, they're building those planes, and they don't have the radar and stuff in the cone, in the cone of the
Why not?
plane.
Why not?
Because it's a rare earth material that they need.
Oh.
And China controls 90-some% of it, and we cannot get what we need. So therefore, these cutting edge jets do not have
no radar
they need in the nose of the plane.
How can you be effective without the proper radar? I mean, that's a major part of the operation. Thank you for the TikTok capture 14.
Which goes back to, once again, how did we get in this situation? Look at it. Our infrastructure is fucked up. Our shipbuilding, we're down to 4 or 5 shipyards. It takes us X amount of years to turn out a jet or a ship or anything. We're ranked low in healthcare because we're driven by greed. I mean, just take a look at it, man. And now they trying to wipe out the whole freaking workforce. Who gonna buy the shit?
What do you mean by
people? They trying.
Well, that ain't they.
They keep talking about that, but now all the coders and stuff, the senior coders are getting burnt out because they were laying off the junior coders
And AI was making so many mistakes when they were doing the code. I think one of the companies even lost, they had to give the money back to Australia because the AI made so many errors doing the coding.
Well, AI will get better. Stevie D says, I just love watching y'all overcorrect while you go on vacations and live life like always. I mean, it's politics. You don't think the president's doing the same thing? I don't know what he means, but it's happening everywhere. I mean, that's happening everywhere. It ain't just something.
I mean, we take a look, Cedric, and see how many shipyards we have building Navy ships, dude. It's about 4 or 5. That's it. Newport News. You got the Pascagoula. You got the Bath Works that do the submarines, and it might be 1 or 2 more. Okay, I know because I was in the Navy and I rode aircraft carriers. And I know where they're built at. I know where they're repaired at. So, okay. So now you're lying.
How about this one? Okay. This is a hell of a comment coming from Jay Sid on YouTube. Says, my point is if you pardon January 6ers, then you should pardon Trump's assassins. Both are equally corrupt and insane.
Well, most of those guys are going back. Some of them are going back to jail. Right?
Some of them have reoffended. One of them got into a shootout with Indiana State Troopers. He's dead. One of the J6s.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah. I mean, when you take a look at it, what did he say? I didn't say the name the first time.
But
I only talk about what I know, Cedric, and I know the military. So that's what I speak on. Speaking of which, the USS Ford has transited the Suez Canal, probably as a day or two from transiting the Strait of Gibraltar, which will put them in the Atlantic, and they will be home in Norfolk.
I heard that. I heard they've been deployed almost a year, like 11 months or something. Yeah, I heard about that.
It'll be 324 days. I have a cousin that's on there, so I kind of text back and forth with her. Actually, her birthing area was close to the laundry room that caught on fire. So I text back and forth with her, and then I went out and I looked and saw where they're at. The Bush relieved the Ford. So now I think you got the Bush and the Lincoln there. And I think the Nimitz and the other ones are. Can
you imagine being because they're in the engagement zone? They're close enough that Iran's weapons can you imagine being in the engagement zone for almost a year? That's got to take a toll on them.
Well, when you out there, when you in the AOR. And we call it the tip of the spear.
What is AOR? What is that?
Area of responsibility.
Okay.
So we call it the tip of the spear. And so as a result of that, everything kind of picks up, because they're constantly, flight ops is going all the time. We're constantly drilling because, you got to be ready. You're constantly doing man overboard drills. I mean, you're just doing all kind of shit. Not to mention you got to do the unreps and stuff when the ship, when they do the underway replenishment, which also is very dangerous. So it's very high paced, very intense and fast paced when you're out there in the environment that they're operating in right now. And you work 12 hours a day and you do not get a day off.
For the whole 11 months?
For the whole, no, for when you're at sea. See, they've been out for 11 months, but they haven't been underway the whole time. They put in the port.
Right.
Okay. So the most I did underway, the most we did 60 straight days one time. And we worked every day. Okay. The record for nonstop, just consecutive days at sea is held by the USS Nimitz when during the Iran hostage crisis, they did 149 days consecutive at sea. And in the Navy, when you go over 100 days, you get 2 cans of beer. so you need to find guys on the ship that don't drink.
That would be me.
You work 12 hours a day, and on Sunday, not every Sunday, but probably every other Sunday or something like that. Instead of getting up at 6 o'clock, they'll hold reveille at 7, and then you come to work at about 8 o'clock or whatever. And they kind of split it up, kind of give you a little break.
That's a long day. I gotta move it on travel, man. I just gotta say good on you. Thank you for your service, and I can only imagine, My thoughts are with them folks that are dealing with that. Fortunately, Iran is not a major threat, but still, just the toll of the drills you're talking about, 12-hour shifts and days. I mean, in the length of time they're out there, it's still got to be rough.
Hey, Tim, one more quick thing too. These ships are on a cycle. They're on a rotation. Okay. So when we came back in March, and we were back on the med in November. And that included going in the yards, and then that also included our carrier quals, and then from the carrier quals, we went into workups, which was 5 weeks each. And then we came back for 30 days, and then we deployed for 6 months.
How long were you in the Navy? How long were you in the Navy?
I was in 17 years. Yeah, I did 3 years in the Marine Corps, 17 in the Navy. And then the other time, we came out the yards, we did our carrier quals, we did our workups, then we did a 2-month North Atlantic. We went up above the Arctic Circle. That was like in February. And then that's when you do your Blue Nose ceremony. And then we came back home for 30 days, loaded up the ship, and pulled out for 6 months.
Wow. I'll leave it at that.
One quick thing, too. You know, Iran hit the UAE, one of the major pipelines in the UAE.
It's on fire. I saw that. I did see that. I'm sure that'll come up soon.
And you got some tankers on fire. I think one is in the Strait and one is in the Gulf.
They don't have any weapons. What did Trump say?
He's fucked up the United States. He's fucked up Europe, and he has fucked up the Gulf states. One man has caused this much fucking destruction.
I'll leave it at that. Travel man, thank you very much. Right, he is in the process of making America great, says MAGA, though. Real old salt, says Billy Wobb. Travel man was cooking them boys dinner on that ship. I don't believe that, Cedric Haney. I don't believe that. I don't believe the man was a cook for 17 years. I do not believe that. Well, consider yourself gaslit and duped, Tim, because Trump ain't shit since the 1980s. I got duped. Listen, I did believe President Trump was going to end the Russian-Ukraine war fairly quick. There's no way I would have believed almost 2 years into his term, year and a half, whatever it is, he would have the Russian-Ukraine war would still be going on this strong. He has been a complete failure on that one. We can talk about everything else about Trump, but just simply focusing on his promise to end the Russian-Ukraine war, he's been a complete failure on that. Up to the point where we're not even talking about it anymore. I mean, he failed completely on that. Yeah, he met with Zelensky. He flew Putin over here and gave the guy a flyover and red carpet treatment. Put Vladimir Putin in the presidential limo, all of that shit. Nothing came out of it. Despite President Trump saying over and over again he had a pleasant, great meeting with him. Every meeting Trump has is a great meeting. Every phone call he has is a great phone call. But if nothing comes out of it, I don't know how it's so great. But yeah, he failed miserably on ending the Russian-Ukraine war despite his promise. Now, obviously, he's made other promises. Grocery prices coming down on day one and all that other stuff. Different conversation. I don't know if I believe that stuff anywhere near as much, but I did believe he was going to end the Russian-Ukraine war. Few months, maybe. Few weeks. I thought he was going to do a better job than he's done. He's done nothing. Looking in the comments, 3 days till market manipulation, says Shanti. In what way? This is not a new thing. This has been going on for a while. Democrats are involved too, says Hanson Conservative. Involved in what? What do you mean? I missed your comment earlier. So what are you saying the Democrats are involved in? And I'll just say this. President Trump promised to make America great, not be a what do you want to call it? A typical politician, going to drain the swamp, all this stuff. Why is he constantly getting compared to Biden? And I'm talking to my beloved MAGA when I say this, I'm talking to my MAGA viewers. If you thought Biden sucked as president, thought he was terrible, worst thing we've had in our lifetime, if you really thought, what you call him, Sleepy Joe, if you really thought he was so bad, why are you always picking him to compare Trump to? If Trump is so great, why aren't you comparing him to Reagan? Why aren't you comparing him to success, people that you think is successful? Why are you comparing him to the guy you thought was the worst? Let's hear about how much better his economy is than Reagan's was, or how much he was better on gas prices than that. Why are you comparing him to the guy you believe is the worst guy that we've had? I mean, you got to lower the bar that much in your opinion just to make the guy get by? Compare him to the people you thought was great. Looking in the comments here real quick, I do want to point out, Donna says Iran and China were trying to take over, collapse our dollar, and Trump said, I don't think so, bitch. You trying to run our here's the problem with some of the stuff you guys are saying on Iran. Tulsi Gabbard. I need a decent explanation for why Tulsi Gabbard said Iran was not trying to develop a nuclear bomb and why she kept her job after saying it. Either what she was saying was accurate or what she was saying is inaccurate and Trump is wrong for keeping her employed. She's providing intelligence. If they have a nuclear bomb, that's the person who's responsible for telling President Trump. If she's giving bad information, why is she still there? Some of this don't make sense. Mike the Sailor, appreciate the TikTok cap. Thank you very much. If what she said, and she absolutely said that Iran was not trying to develop a nuclear bomb. Tulsi Gabbard testified and said that. Then why is Trump saying they are? Where did his information come from if the people responsible for giving him the information said they're not doing it? So where did he get his information from? And why is the person responsible for giving him the information still employed? That has to be explained. That's where the criticism is. Looking in the comments, it's a lie to blame nuclear weapons. They're acting as Israel's puppet to destroy the surrounding nations. Yeah, I don't know. They didn't have a nuclear weapon. They were making one. That's what she said. No, that is not what Tulsi Gabbard said. They were not trying to do it. Tulsi Gabbard did not say that. So explain that.
Data. The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program. In the past year, we've seen an erosion of a decades-long taboo in Iran on discussing nuclear weapons in public, likely emboldening nuclear weapons advocates within Iran's decision-making apparatus. Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is at its highest levels and is unprecedented for a state without nuclear weapons. Iran's cyber operations and capabilities also present a serious threat to U.S. networks and data. The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon.
So they're not building a nuclear weapon. So I don't understand it. I don't understand that. I just don't understand it. So why do we? So what happened then? Why is she still there? If she don't know what she's talking about, and President Trump said she didn't know what she was talking about also. So why isn't she gone then? So something doesn't make sense. That's all I'm saying. And that's why folks are criticizing, folks in America, Americans are criticizing President Trump because he is not in lockstep even with his own administration. He is saying things that part of his own administration is not saying. Doesn't make sense to me. They mostly brainwashed easily impressionable teens to 20s or 30s, old hippies, vegans who never grew up. What does that mean? Anyhow, excuse me. You don't understand shit. She's been ostracized. What the fuck is ostracized? What the fuck is that? Why is she still hired? If Iran is developing a nuclear weapon, and we believe, as Trump said, that they would use it on America, so they pose a major nuclear threat to America. And she gives us information that is wrong, that could expose us to being annihilated by a nuclear weapon. Why does she still have her job? Why is she still hired? That makes no sense. Either President Trump is lying and Tulsi Gabbard is accurate, or President Trump is telling the truth and he's incompetent for keeping her on the job. It's one or the other. If what Trump is saying is accurate, then why does she still have a job? One of these you gotta go. You can't go with, yes, they were developing a nuclear weapon, but we should keep Tulsi Gabbard even though she was wrong. One of those has to be explained. If she's wrong, why is she still providing intelligence? She's still on the job. So there's either dishonesty or incompetence. One or the other. I can't imagine having to explain to God why I voted for Trump. Damn. Somebody in the comments said, I can't imagine having to explain to God why I voted for Trump. You fell for what he said. I don't see, like I said, I don't see any issue with that. You trusted what President Trump said. His first term, he wasn't that bad. He was not that bad during his first term. He was surrounded by knowledgeable people. The economy wasn't that bad. He didn't handle the pandemic well. But other than that, he was not a bad president in his first term. Things went awry in the opinion of folks on the right during Biden's term. So they wanted Trump back based on what he did in his first term. And he promised not only to do what he was doing in his first term, but to do it even better. I don't see any problem with somebody who heard Trump make those promises and he voted for him. Now, clearly he had no intentions of doing that stuff. Clearly he had no intentions of doing the things he campaigned on. But the people didn't know that. The voters didn't know that. A lot of folks believe the country is being ran by pedophiles and that the Biden administration was not allowing us to get to the bottom of that to bring people to justice. Trump administration promised they would. That's a good thing. He's going to help us get to the bottom of people abusing kids. That's what he led his voters to believe. So he made a lot of legitimate promises that I can understand why people voted for him for. He just didn't mean, he had no intentions of actually carrying them out. So you fell for somebody who just told you, some things that weren't true. It is what it is. I can understand that. Mama Clark says, then you found out that he was part of it. Yeah, I'm just simply saying though, but I understand why people voted for Trump. He promised a lot of good shit. You know what? Just ask your pedophile leader. His big league brain will shock you. God. But like I said, I can't hate on somebody who fell for a lot of the good things he's promising. I mean, look, folks believe that under Biden, the economy in the country was going in the wrong direction. Biden steps down, Kamala Harris is running for office. They ask her, well, what would you do different from Biden? She says nothing. So that's it for her. So we're going to listen to Trump. He's promising to do different stuff. Economy's going to be better. He promised to get grocery prices down on day one. Gas prices were going to come. He promised a lot of good shit. It's as simple as that. Tulsi Gabbard may be doing something different to keep the job. Yeah, she's playing ball. Maybe now she decided she won't just come out and tell you what intelligence says. She'll run it by Trump first to see if that's what he wants to release. That's the difference. But yeah, Tulsi Gabbard saying that they didn't have weapons. Here's two issues. First, Tulsi Gabbard's on record saying they were not trying to develop a nuclear bomb. Second, our primary partner in the war with Iran, Israel, is on record saying probably about a dozen times they were about to develop a nuclear bomb, and he was not accurate. So we literally tossed the testimony of Tulsi Gabbard aside, and it looks like in favor of Netanyahu, who was literally on video telling lies, saying things that are not accurate. Go figure. Maybe there's something else at play there. Trump's the puppet. He has no idea what's going on. Yikes. Thank you, Mr. G says plain balls. Yeah, why is she still employed if she didn't know what was going on? And there's no answer for that. There is no answer for that, which is why I said either Tulsi Gabbard is telling the truth and Trump is lying, or Trump is telling the truth and he is incompetent for keeping Tulsi Gabbard employed. It's either one or the other. If Iran poses that much of a danger to us in developing a nuclear weapon that we had to go to war to stop them, and Tulsi Gabbard didn't even realize it was about to happen, which means if we had to listen to Tulsi Gabbard, they would have got a nuclear bomb, and according to Trump, they would have used it. So Tulsi Gabbard exposed us to a grave danger. She shouldn't be there. If she's there, then Trump is incompetent for keeping her on. Anyhow, I appreciate the 147,000. You guys know how the program is ran. Thanks some of you folks for helping your boy with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goals. We are here most weekdays. If you favor uncensored dialogue from all sides of the aisle. I ask that you follow the program. Shanti says, I'm getting blocked. Why am I getting blocked, Shanti? If you favor this type of program, follow us if you're watching this currently on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, or Clapper. If you're watching this on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. Real quick, Me Too says it has all to do with the Georgia elections. That's why Tulsi is still there. Look out for people who certified the election getting... Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard went down there and was trying to hide and get involved in the Fulton County. I don't know. What is the purpose of that shit? Even if you were able to prove that something happened in the 2020 election, that shit's 6 years old at this point. And you've also said a lot of things you're not going to be able to prove. So let's say Trump can prove some illegal immigrants voted that shouldn't have. But you also said dead people voted. You said Dominion voting machines switched votes from Trump to Biden. You said there was ballot. You said a lot of shit that ain't true. So even if you can prove that one thing you said was true, it doesn't take away from the fact that you lied on a bunch of other things. It's 6 years ago. You're not going to take away Biden's presidency. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of beating that dead horse? The money is going to cost America. Look, at the end of the day, MAGA believes that election was not held properly with no proof. You don't need to prove it to MAGA. They already believe it. And the Democrats believe you're lying, and any evidence you put forward, they're not going to trust that at this point anyway. So you're not going to change any hearts and minds by digging up anything from Fulton County. Democrats and even a lot of independents believe the justice system, can't even get that out, the justice system or the Department of Justice, they're not unbiased. They're doing what you say. So anything they come up with out of Fulton County, MAGA's going to buy it, and the rest of the Democrats are not. What's the purpose of even wasting money on that at this point? You're not going to change any hearts and minds no matter what you pull out of Fulton County. It's just not going to happen. Real quick, did you not hear the break-in video? It stopped where it was cut. I don't know what you're talking about, Doc. What break-in video? What break-in video? This war has actually strengthened Iran's theocracy and given them the perfect excuse to develop nuclear weapons, all while the Strait of Hormuz is blocked. What was the point of acting like Israel's puppet? Could be some money in it for the folks. And I will tell you it is. With Israel being able to charge boats from going through the Strait of Hormuz and stuff like that, yeah, they are making money. Not to mention Trump, to get them to come to terms, offered them money anyway. Fact is, when all is said and done, we're going to have an Obama deal. That's what we're going to end up with. Trump is not going to change the regime in Iran to the point where they favor the United States. That's not going to happen. Trump is not going to stop Iran from killing its own citizens because you're not going to change the regime or the heart and minds in Iran. That's not going to happen. And I suppose you can keep their nuclear program on hold, but how is that going to be done? It's going to be done the same way it's going to be done the same way that Obama did it. Plus or minus, okay, we can come visit every now and then or check your facilities or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's probably what's going to end up happening is we're going to get a deal very similar to the Obama deal, where they're going to make some sort of a promise that they'll be good, and we're going to have to sweeten things up to get them to agree to it. Like rebuild their fucking country that we destroyed. Like probably pay the families of those girls and things like that. We're going to have to spend money to rebuild all the damage we did. And they'll in turn make some kind of promise that they'll be good. Very similar to the Obama deal. That's what we're going to probably end up getting out of this. All the other stuff, the regime change and preventing them from killing their own citizens, you're not going to get that. You're just not going to get that. And under Trump, we're going to be happy we get it. So it's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. I do got to step away. Thank you folks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. We'll talk tomorrow. You guys take care and have a good night. Thank you. Handsome Conservative.